And is it Weech?
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the SANFL's live stream of the 2014 Reserves Grand Final played between the Woodville West Torrens Eagles and the Sturt Football Club. Woodville West Torrens coached by Jared Wright, Sturt coached by Adam Silvey. My name is Phil Aspinall. I'll be your host and one of your commentators this afternoon in this live stream coverage on the website sanfl.com.au. And joining me in the prime commentary position, it's a good afternoon to Don Cooper. Don, welcome to the coverage.
Good afternoon, thank you, Phil, and good afternoon to all our viewers, I guess, across the stream here on a picture-perfect day, Adelaide Oval, all set for a massive day of football, starting, of course, here with the Reserves Grand Final between the Eagles and the Double Blues. Of course, the Eagles going straight through to the big dance from the second semi-final. Sturt, a hard-fought win in last week's preliminary final, so the stage really is set for a massive day here and all to get underway very shortly. Looking forward to a very big game here, Phil.
Yes, and indeed it will be the case. And also joining us in the coverage, a man familiar to the SANFL website, of course, the Media and Communications Manager at the League, Zach Milbank. Zach, welcome to the coverage.
Thanks very much for having me, Phil. It's great to be here.
It should be obviously a perfect day for a grand final. Great conditions here at Adelaide Oval. The Oval looking in should be set up for a really good game between the two best sides in the reserves competition.
Yeah, fitting that these two sides end up playing for the reserves crown, that is for sure. I've got some late breaking news as well, fellas, in terms of the team lineups. Luke Pinozzo not out there today, which is a real shame because probably would have been his last game in the SANFL, but he's hurt his calf at training on Friday night, so a late withdrawal. The veteran, he would have been a real difference maker for the Double Blues today had he taken his place in the side. Yeah,
without a doubt, because we know that he's dangerous around the goals. He obviously can play down in defence as well and run through the midfield, so a big blow for the Double Blues is Pinozzo. The other changes that we can confirm, if you've got a budget, Alex Hurren, number 45, and Nicholas Langridge, 48, are out of the Double Blues lineup. Reece Woods, number 34 for the Eagles, is actually going to be wearing number 40 according to the Champion Data team sheet, so change that there. Number 34 from the Eagles, Reece Wood, now wearing number 40. And young Jack Gaffney, number 47, well, we called him in the under-18s Macca's Cup Grand Final that the West Adelaide Football Club had a win in, so Gaffney also comes out. And Don, you can't really ask for any better conditions than this. Obviously, fantastic weather here in Adelaide, 22 degrees, a great afternoon. Obviously, we've got the big SANFL IGA League Grand Final coming up this afternoon between Port and Norwood. But in the reserves, the Eagles and Sturt certainly doing battle to win the premiership. Yeah,
look, they couldn't ask for any more conditions, really. The ground looking resplendent, the crisscrosses across the beautiful hallowed turf here of Adelaide Oval, the sun just bathing the ground here at the moment. The crowd's starting to build. They were very anxious at 10:30 when the gates opened. The charge was on to get your favourite seat here at Adelaide Oval, so we're expecting a huge crowd here this afternoon, and they're going to get a great game early if they arrive here early to have a look at between these two sides. The Eagles, seen them quite a bit throughout the season in the reserves. They've been a really dominant force, of course, finished top of the ladder, went straight through with a good win in the second set. Yeah, they're well primed to take out the flag here, obviously going for back-to-back after getting the spoils last year as well down at Amy Stadium. But look, a different look for both of these sides, a big chance to play on Adelaide Oval.
And of course, Zach, when we cast our eye through the list of both teams, there's certainly plenty of league players that have had that experience at the next level up, and in particular at the Eagles, you look straight away and someone down the list. Matthew Appleton's played the 15 games. Angus Roundtree, of course, a veteran coming off that knee injury, and a smattering of other players. You know, Joseph Sinor's played a bit of league football. We know Angus Poole, and of course Tom Whittlesey as well has played a couple of games. So a bit of experience at league level in this reserves team for the Eagles.
Yeah, that'll certainly hold them in good stead, Phil, that's for sure. We saw that last year in the reserves grand final. They probably, Glenelg probably had the better of them, fair to say, across that game, but they just hung in and ended up getting over the line in narrow fashion against the Tigers. And yeah, guys like Angus Poole and Matty Appleton, you expect them, Angus Roundtree as well, to start in the middle of the ground and really get hands on the footy for the Eagles and get them rolling nice and early. But really excited to see some of the Sturt guys out there as well. There's some talented under-18s players that played in that Victorious McDonald's 18 side this year, like James Rose and Henry Carey and these sort of guys. So look, strutting their stuff on the big stage. And of course the other interesting one to have a look out for is young Sam Jonas, number 29 for the Double Blues, actually the younger brother of Tom Jonas, who of course played for the Power in the preliminary final last night against Hawthorn.
Yeah, disappointing result there for the Power. They were gallant in defeat, that's for sure. One other man from the Double Blues, Zach, that's been standing out in the reserves this year. Played a little bit of league football. Won't miss him down there in attack. He's got a bit of a Ziggy Vitkunis. Yes. He can take a grab, and he can certainly finish off. And he's a very handy player, the boy from Mount Compass.
He is indeed. A lot of people sort of question why he hasn't been playing more league footy. I guess more so the forward structure that Seamus Maloney's been working on this year. He probably hasn't quite fitted in, but we've seen him play some really good league footy when he has been out there for the league team. But as we speak, just looks like Sturt's won the toss, Tom Hurley, and the Double Blues are going to kick to the southern end, the river end of Adelaide Oval.
Jack Muirhead there, the captain of the Eagles today. Looking in terms of an advantage, you said that the Double Blues kicking to the southern or riverbank end. The flag's up on top of the scoreboard. Don, limp to not really show any breeze at all. It's a perfect day. You really couldn't ask for any better conditions.
No, look, there's no breeze to speak of at all, really. Just a few little puffs of breeze around. It's not going to make any difference at all. I think it's just a matter that the
Don, being a former umpire yourself at SANFL level, we always like to congratulate, of course, the hard work throughout the course of the year for the officiating men and women that have earned their spot in the grand final. Get you to go through the officiating umpires this afternoon.
Yes, indeed, because it's a big afternoon for them as well. As the siren sounds, we're getting near the bounce, but firstly, congratulations in the field to David Soberage, Michael Zaboro and Eleni Glufsis. The emergency there, Mitchell Scott. He'll be sitting on the bench there just in case. Running the boundary around the perimeter of Adelaide Oval this afternoon, Terence Carter, Paul Williams, Dylan Wan and Martin Elsgood. And waving the calico happily in the goals will be Stephen Ripp and Reece Negerman, with Matthew Williams sitting on the pine as the emergency. So well done to the lady and gentlemen who are officiating in the grand final here this afternoon. Only moments away, as we said, Phil, both sides in their huddles.
Yeah, both sides just preparing to have their final speeches from the skippers and then getting out to position. Well, I guess, Zach, it's time to put our reputations on the line. We haven't seen a lot of the teams at reserves level. I know Don and I have seen a little bit of both sides throughout the course of the year with our coverage on RPH. But your thoughts as to who might win this afternoon?
Oh, just leaning towards Woodville West Torrens, obviously having won the game last year. And I just think their class and experience in the midfield might be the difference today. They've got a lot of hard nuts in there who win a lot of the contested footy, and we know how important that stat is in terms of winning the game. So Eagles for me.
And Don Cooper, your thoughts on a tip?
Yeah, look, I'll take my heart out of the equation here, and sitting here in my double blue shirt, I'm actually going to tip Woodville West Torrens. I think they've been the dominant force this year. Perhaps it might be a little bit unjust if they don't win the grand final, but gee, you've got to bring your A game to grand final, though, that's for sure. And if they do, I think they'll just be too strong. But I think we'll see a very, very tough game ahead of us, gentlemen.
Yeah, for mine, I'm going to lean to the Eagles as well. Obviously, the late withdrawal there of Luke Panozzo, a massive blow for the Double Blues. I've seen him in reserves level kick bags of 7s and 8s and take the game by the scruff of the neck. I think that might just be an avenue to goal the Double Blues are going to lack. Obviously, they've got Vic Kunis down there, and he'll be an important player. But I think it will be a tight one. I reckon the Eagles by a couple of goals. So we're not too far away from resumption in the 2014 SANFL Reserves Grand Final. Live streamed on the SANFL website. Don Cooper and Zach Milbank, your commentators. Players getting into their final positions.
Already we can see Angus Roundtree there in the middle for the Eagles, so he'll be looking to get his hands on it.
So we're underway in the 2014 Reserves Grand Final. Your first caller will be Don Cooper.
Umpire David Soberage holds the burley aloft as Curnow and Mullins face across the 10-metre circle. Bang, down goes the ball. We're underway in the big one. Tapped down by Mullins. Read well there by Appleton, but he's quickly apprehended by Matson. And we'll have another ball up, still in the circle. So already a fierce approach by both sides. There's the tap down. A chance now here for the Double Blues. They'll work it through Penfold. It comes to lean it now. He went one way then the other, looking for Hurley, but the Eagles' defence standing up well. Muirhead in there for the Eagles. The ball just spilling around at ground level. Here's a chance for Taggart off one step. Sends it to the hot spot for the Double Blues. Was there a hand on it? I don't think there was. Well, Taggart Off one step from just inside 50, Zach Milbank, and what a start for the Double Blues.
Fantastic start for the Blues. Couldn't have asked for more with that one. Taggart, we know he's come off an AFL list, being delisted by Melbourne in the off-season. Played a little bit of league footy towards the end of the year for the Double Blues, so he's a class act, and he'll be looking for more of those in this quarter.
So a good start there for the Double Blues and a great start to Taggart. We've actually got a sponsor for the scoreboard. It's the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard, and it shows that Sturt are leading 1 straight 6. The Eagles yet to score. I'll tell you more about Prince Albert Hotel in the breaks. Umpire Laney Gluftus resumes play, bangs it down. The bounce favoured the big ruckman there for the Double Blues. Good work in there on a tackle from Roundtree on. Umpire calls for a stoppage.
Good little bit of the boys too early, Phil.
Absolutely, you'd expect that in a grand final. So Curnow up against Mullins. Curnow probably ball at ground level. Umpire about to blow the whistle. Does spill out. The player there for the Double Blues gets a handball out to Matson. He snaps around the body quickly. The ball sitting up for quite trap it. Good pressure in there from Kelly. Comes in over the top. Centre wing on this commentary side. Western side of Adelaide Oval. We're going to have another ball up. Right on the IGA SANFL League logo. Ruckman go at it. Good body work in there from Curnow, but good, well trapped in there from Martin. The Eagles will release now through the skipper in Muirhead. He'll kick it into the middle of the ground. The ball needs to sit up for the Eagles player there and press it. Couldn't quite. Good work though to tap it out towards Little Paul. Work it in a chain of handballs do the Eagles. Back to Roundtree. The kick to centre half forward. Just missed the target of the leading player. Looked to be Roland. Mopping up at the back there. Looked to be the player in Jonas for the Double Blue. Now, kick it to centre wing. Sliding on hands and knees was the Sturt player in Weech. Couldn't quite get it. Good follow-up from Penfold. Could have had his legs taken out. Umpire says nothing in it. And the tackle follows. And the heat's on early in this contest, as you'd expect, Zach.
Yeah, it certainly is, Phil. Obviously, both sides just getting a little bit of a feel for each other and just putting their physical stamp on the contest.
So Curnow won the tap down from the stoppage, but the Eagles doing well, this time through Appleton and then Signor. Back to Appleton. And a chance now here to mop up through Martin. But great tackle there. Pinched off by Penfold, got the hand pass away, must have been advantage. Work it through now. Muirhead clever, went one way then the other, kicks the Eagles inside 50, but it's all Double Blues back there at the moment. The defence standing up well. The Eagles getting numbers back around the ball, and we'll have a bounce up inside their attacking 50. They're yet to get on the scoreboard, the Eagles. The Double Blues 1 straight 6. The Eagles still a blank. And charging out was Guilfoy. Got the hand pass out for the Double Blues, but Paul did well for the Eagles in there. Guilfoy in again, charging through. Desperate times, calling for desperate measures, and the defence of the Double Blues standing up well, Zach.
Certainly are. Heat after that first goal to Rory Taggart. Couple of inside 50s to Jack Muirhead, putting them under the pump.
Curnow just couldn't quite win it down. The ball at ground level, and we'll have a secondary ball up. Getting to his feet is Signor for the Eagles. The ball thrown skyward again. Curnow doing well in the ruck so far. Hurley might have been taken high by Signor. So Hurley with the burley in hand for the Double Blues. Looks to go to the eastern side and spots up and finds a teammate out there. And that was One Key. One Key short little kick, spots up and finds Hurley again. So in the working it along the eastern side now where Kelly has it after the Hurley kick. Transfers play, that's a good lead out of Mark 2. The Double Blues looking good at the moment. Ball now towards attacking 50 on the end of this one. One grab, two grab, couldn't take it. Stolen away. The Eagles now. Oh, good tackle on Hurley by Roundtree there. Couldn't dispossess him. We'll have a ball up about 6 from the Sturt goal. They lead 1 straight to no. Zamboro throws the ball skyward. Winning it out was Roundtree from the clearance. Quick kick around the body from Woods. Towards centre wing for the Eagles. They've got some numbers here, and there's one out. There's a chance now here for them to run into an open goal. The one bounce, nearly should have had the kick around the body as the snap, and just missing to the one behind. So the Eagles' first score on the board. It comes courtesy of Fitzgerald. They're 1 behind. The Double Blues 1 straight 6.
Should have done better than that, shouldn't they, Zach?
Certainly should have. Phil had plenty of time. I don't think he realised just how much time, and he missed that left foot snap.
The Double Blues have taken the immediate kick out. They've gone to the scoreboard pocket, the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. The kick out's a poor one, though. It's intercepted nicely by Giles, who comes through with a worm-burning pass. Lovely pass inside 50. And taking the mark there for the Eagles looks to be Matthew Raymond. And he's marked it about 40 metres out on a pretty slight angle. And you'd Slot this one, Zach.
That's what we talk about, quality inside 50. Hit him beautifully, lace out, and he'll go back from about 45 out, as you say, Phil, and hopefully slot this for the Eagles.
So Raymond on his way now. The kick's a good one. He's just pushed it to the right, though. Goes through for a behind. So Woodville West Torrens move on to 2 behinds, and they trail the Double Blues 1 straight 6. We've gone 6 minutes in this first quarter.
So lean it to himself and then drives the Double Blues towards the members' side here. Pack forms, ball at ground level. Surely a push in the back there. That'll be an advantage. Quickly by Appleton. Oh, just squares it up nicely. Saw Senior 35 metres out on a very slight angle. And Zach, the Double Blues just caught napping there defensively. The Eagles just opened them up nicely.
Yeah, that's what can happen, Don, when you're trying to get the ball out of your defensive 50 and suddenly that turnover's created. You've got guys off your men, and the Eagles really making the Double Blues pay on the turnover there.
Yes, Atkinson, I should say, just couldn't take that mark there when it was required, so it leaves Senior with a shot. He'll kick from about 40. The ball on its way looks to have hooked way to the left, making umpire Stephen Rip gallop across, 1 behind. So on the Prince Albert scoreboard, it's the Eagles 3 behinds now. The Double Blues are 1 straight 6. And we've gone nearly 7 minutes in the grand final.
The Sturt take the kick out again, immediately come to this commentary side, or western side. The kick to a contest. Good work in there from Penfold. Gets a handball out, knocking it forward, looking for a teammate there in Hurley. Over the top. Double Blues have got some numbers, but good tackle pressure there from the Eagles. Good work in there from the Sturt player Newell. Got a handball out, then the quick kick to centre wing. Good spoiled, but good crumbing at the front there by Muirhead. The Eagles are out again. They've got player over the top there. Looks to be the player in Roundtree over inside 50. The shot is now from, was it the player in press? I think it actually...
I think it might have been...
Roland?
Yeah, it was actually... the little Raymond out
there. Raymond, actually, it was indeed. So good finish from Raymond, Zach Milbank, and a good goal to the Eagles.
Yeah, made up for that little set shot that he missed a couple of minutes ago, and a really nice move. And they did need to put some scoreboard pressure on the Eagles because they're certainly getting the upper hand of this contest with some plenty of inside 50 entries. So needed to apply that pressure on the scoreboard, and Matty Raymond did so with a nice finish.
Certainly was indeed, and as you called, Zach, you just made up for that little blemish earlier. So the first major on the Prince Albert scoreboard for the Eagles. They take the lead by 3 points. Gone 8 minutes in the opening quarter of the 17 Reserves Grand Final. In the middle, and Muller going at it. Curnow might have won the tap down. A lot of pressure in there. The arms for him, worked the ball involved again. Got it. Paul, a nice little releasing kick. Had Fitzgerald there. His kick inside 50 wasn't quite as good. A good one-on-one contest there. They've still got some numbers though. Senior did well, not free kick. The ball picked. Roland snap around the body. Was smothered well. Chance again. He farms the hand pass out. Finds Roland. Here's a chance for Muller. He kicks it high, wide, and not too handsome. Just the one behind. So another blemish. The kicking's not great from the Eagles. 1-4-10 on the Prince Albert scoreboard. There's 1 straight 6, but a 4-point margin.
You can already see a big ascendancy there in the inside 50s for the Eagles. Then 7-2.
The Double Blues again take the kick out and choose to come down to this commentary side or western side. Another contest form. Good work from Curnow, but the ball spilled out there to Killian. Inside 50 now. The short pass just travelled the required distance. Has it? No. Play on the call. Signor gets a chip around the intercepted, not 15 again the call. Well done by Dunkley. Hands off to a teammate. Now they'll clear defensive 50 will the Double Blues. The kick just set up though and favoured the Eagles player there in Giles Ellis, and he chips short inside, finds Mueller. Handballs back now to Woods. In the number 40, the quick kick inside 50. Lux a fortune. Little player there in front was Jackson Press. And as all Zach, they play in front. You normally get the ball go your way.
Did indeed. As you said, you called it well there, Phil. Lux a fortune. Not too sure he necessarily meant that, but as Press was playing in front, he got the advantage and took a nice mark there, and he'll line up directly out straight in front from about, he'll probably kick it just inside the 50.
The Press now with a pretty long run up, comes in, he's directly in front as Zach said, will kick it right on the paint of 50. It's a good looking kick. It's just drift to the left though, so the Eagles peppering the goals in points. They move to 1-5-11. Sturt 1 straight 6. 10 minutes gone, and we saw yesterday in the AFL, Don, bad kicking, bad football.
Yes, goals win matches, not behinds really, Phil, and the Eagles not being able to take advantage of what we could call a forward press there. As Lena attempted barrel, was just a long tumbling kick that finds the way of Matson. Matson now needs support. Good tackle in there. The Eagles, they're swarming in numbers. Senior having a mark at the moment, Jack, isn't he, the little fella?
He is indeed. He's played a bit of league footy this year, Don, as we saw, and he certainly wasn't overawed at that level of footy either.
So Curnow doing well in the ruck. Matson overran it. Dives back on top of it. He's given away a free kick in the process, and Matty Appleton will be the recipient. Probably going to have to kick from outside 50, so he looks to square it up. He's got a lead on. The kick is good, and it's Cully on the end of it. Well, it was a nice lead from Cully. He just got a little bit of a march on his direct opponent there, Jared Lean, Zach, and a strong mark too from Todd Cully.
It was indeed. The pass was really well weighted by Appleton as it out to his advantage, and Todd Cully obviously played a bit of league footy as well, but mainly as a defender, so we'll see how he goes lining up as a forward.
Well, we know what defenders can kick like sometimes as Cully strolls in, and he's delivered that one all right too. It went a little bit left to right, but good goal there from Todd Cully. As Zach said, the former defender turns attacker, and that can happen sometimes in big games. The Eagles on the Prince Albert scoreboard go along to 2-5-17 with Cully's first. The Double Blues stranded on one straight 6, 11-point margin. We've gone 12 minutes.
I should mention there, Matty Appleton, obviously a key figure in constructing that goal. He's the leading possession winner for the Eagles at the moment with 5 touches. Joseph Sinor, as you touched on, John, playing well with 4. Matty Raymond with 4 also for the Eagles. For Sturt, Henry Carey and Jared Lean, the leading stat getters with 3 apiece.
So we're back underway. The following bounce came in, and good work there in the clearance from Appleton off the left foot, though. The kick's intercepted. Sturt now on centre wing grandstand side will go for it. A strong mark in the hands. Taken there by Kelly. Flew early. Roll it nicely. Handballs off to his running teammate Rose. The kick inside 50. Sliding on hands and knees and taking the mark, but getting the free kick anyway was Taggart. And you suspect Don Cooper and for Zach Milbank, young Mackenzie, it might be a tough matchup for him. Yeah,
certainly will. He's quite a strong body for a midfielder, Rory Taggart, so it's quite a good move by Sturt coach Adam Silvey to try and inside 50 and get a bit of, use his strength one-on-one.
So Taggart's kicked the opening goal of the game for the Double Blues, their only score. It'll kick from just inside 50. The kick's on its way. He's pushed it to the right and through for a behind. So Sturt's first minor score, they move to 1-1-7. They're 10 points behind the Eagles on the Prince Albert scoreboard. The Eagles 2-13 gone in this first term.
So Muirhead signals high. I'm not sure what he's signalling for. So he goes to himself, and then he'll just clear it from defensive 50 to the eastern side. And there's a strong mark there taken by Signor. He's got Paul running alongside of him, uses him. And uses Appleton. He looks left and right. Squares it up. The kick went laterally. He needs support, and it sits up well. And the Eagles a chance here to bring it now to the members' side. Just worked underneath the ball there. And the ball eventually going over the line and out of bounds.
Just interesting there, Don. Obviously, the Eagles went the old-fashioned way from the kick-in with the cluster at centre-half forward and then spread in all different directions and seemed to work well for them. They cleared the ball well outside of their defensive 50.
They did work it out very easily and probably all too easily for the Double Blues' liking as Curnow with the double tap down. Eventually it falls in the hands of Matson from Penfold, but he's wrapped up beautifully. Anywhere, and the Eagles really signalling a physical presence here. Some good work there from Jackson Press as well. So the ball thrown up from the stoppage now. Tapped down by Mullins. Ball Schwartz in there for the Eagles. Extricates himself from a tackle. Did well. The Double Blues working overtime. Eventually seek the sanctity of the there. And we'll have a boundary throw in. So time about halfway through quarter, the Eagles starting to show their ascendancy. 2-5-17 to 1-1-7. They lead by 10 points on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. The boundary umpire whips the ball back into play. Mullins might have got the tap down in front of his opponent there, but the ball will be a stalemate. So we'll have a ball up around about 70 metres from the Eagles' goal. We've gone 15 minutes by 7.
So ball thrown forward on this western side. Good there from the big man in Mullins. And the Sturt side get a quick clear. One-on-one, Killian down there for Sturt. Good work at the back. The ball spills out. The favoured bounce there, just knocked on nicely by the Sturt boy in Rose. Couldn't quite take control of it, and the Eagles have some numbers. They'll swoop through. Going to ground was Woods, though, at the inopportune time. Good work in there from Kelly. Puts some pressure on. Gets a handball out. Hurley just drops the tackler nicely. Goes inside 50 with a kick. Down there for Taggart. Good spoil, Mackenzie. Well trapped Killian, but he's wrapped up in a tackle by Vic Kunis. Ball spills out. Good work now from the Eagles player in Martin. Clears defensive 50 with a handball. The Double Blues just couldn't quite hold it in their attacking zone. So the Eagles have moved to centre wing outer side, and it's a strong mark out there by Somerton. It's a long way. Kick still for the Eagles. Will go short. On the lead is the little man in Paul. And of course rides his skateboard to training. Lives just around the corner from Woodville Oval. He plays on. Good run on there from Martin, the former Crows rookie. Puts it inside 50 to the hot spot. Cully at the back.
Fantastic mark there, Phil. And we also saw the running Martin there. He's involved twice in that piece of play. We know he's one of the fittest players in the whole SANFL, let alone he used to sometimes push Nathan Van Berlo when he was on the Adelaide in those 3K time trials. So really good footy from him, and he passed to the hot spot, and Todd Cully took a nice mark.
You'd suspect from 20 out directly in front. The defender should go back and slot it. He's made the goal umpire work a little bit to his left. Nonetheless, a goal there to Cully. His second, the Eagles' third. They move to 3-5-23. The Double Blues 16.5 gone on the Prince Albert scoreboard, and Zach, good ball movement from the Eagles.
Certainly was, and if we just look at the stats, they're really starting to dominate on the statistics sheet now, Phil, with Eagles having 52 disposals overall to Sturt's 34, and that key stat as well, inside 50s, 11-4, so that's quite a domination.
It is, isn't it?
It's starting to reflect on the scoreboard now, so danger signs for the Double Blues.
It is indeed. You can quite clearly see how the Eagles only gave up 3 games all season in this type of form. We're back in the middle. It's Atkinson up against Mullins. Mullins might have just won it down. Hurley couldn't get clean hands on it. Diving through was Roundtree for the Eagles. Swooped on now there by Campbell for the Double Blues. Got the ball away. Picked up there by Muirhead. He links up now with Martin again. They're looking good off half back, the Eagles. Oh, Press was the target there. Might have just been held onto by Proprotny there, so he's given up the free kick.
Yeah, that was the call from umpire Zaboro. Well,
chipping kick over the top. They're running hard, the Eagles, and Martin in particular. His gut running at the moment's really tearing the Double Blues midfield apart. He goes short and finds Fitzgerald. Left half forward side. In the clear, shining sunshine at the moment. Not too much bright spots for the Double Blues as Fitzgerald bombs it in looking for Cully. He's a big target there. Good work over the back then by Leanett. And also to put a spoil on that one. Throw in about 30 metres around from the Eagles' goals. They lead by 16 points at the moment. We've gone 18 minutes. As the ball thrown back into play. Muller, double tap down. It was read well. The Double Blues might be out of trouble here. Oh, they're in a bit of trouble now. The ball spilling around, swooped on then. Chance for Paul. Can he pick it up? Roundtree. He's the recipient. Spins around on the left boot. Bang. Well, for all the fumbling and bumbling the Double Blues had there, Zach, it was clean hands by the Eagles and a great snap from Angus Roundtree.
Yeah, he's a class act. We know what Angus Roundtree's capable of, even on his non-preferred left foot there. A really nice finish from about 25 metres out. And, yeah, you can't just fumble the footy in that sort of area of the ground. It's just the Eagles are going to make you pay every time. So plenty to work on for the Double Blues at the moment because this game is fast slipping away from them even at this early stage.
Yeah, they're just applying great pressure all across the ground, working it out way too easily from half-back, and their forward pressure is enormous, Phil.
Indeed it is. And as Zach Milbank said, he can't fumble the footy right square, and Roundtree a quality finish from a quality player. We're back underway. The bounce just favoured Muller, but he hit it straight down to his opposing ruckman there in Kerno. Got the clearing kick out to left half forward, but the ball sat up nicely there for the Eagles player in Giles Ellis. He'll swing on the left foot, on the right boot rather, kick it to half forward, but the ball spills over the back. The Eagles couldn't quite execute the pass. The Double Blues have some numbers now. They'll clear it through line. He'll kick it down the line. 2-on-1, Vic Kunis out. Bustles just too big and strong for Albie Dunstan. So Vic Kunis, compass, we know he's an excitement machine. He's probably too far out to score, Zach, although he might be going back to have a shot.
His distance, you could sort of see early on he was looking to pass it off, but he's now committed to have the shot.
So Ziggy Vic Kunis will have to kick it at least 55 metres. He's shanked it to the left trying to get some distance. It's to the tops of the square, but it's bounced into the point post. So it'll be a throw-in in the right forward pocket. We've gone 20 minutes in this reserves grand final, opening quarter. It's the Eagles 4-5-29, Sturt 1. Going to have a boundary throw-in down at that riverbank or southern end, the end of which Sturt are kicking. They'd love a goal before quarter time. Muller got front position, hit it down nicely to Roundtree, then he ducked the head but was taken high. Play on the call, advantage the free. Roundtree clears defensive 50 with a nice weighted kick. And a strong lead there, marked by Somerton. Outside of defensive 50, left half back. Somerton will kick down the line. He's got the big fella Wonky there in prime position. Couldn't take it. Good spoil at the back there. Gerald, but Sturt have some numbers. They clear it now with a chain of handballs. Hands of Jacob Leake. He'll kick it into the middle of the ground. A nice pass. He's found his teammate there at the double blues. Need to get it on quickly inside 50. Sturt now, they've gone in through Carey. The kick, though, it was a poor one. It was nicely marked down there by Appleton. And in defensive, Appleton, the boy from the York Peninsula, will take the kick for the Eagles.
So Appleton, indecisive, one way, then the other, goes short. And he's got a lead-up man, and it's a nice mark taken by Schwartz. Left half back for the Eagles. Working this ball around nicely at the moment. Well, Schwartz was very indecisive. The kick had to be good. It was terrible, really. A chance now for the double blues if they can recover. It's with Weech. Weech's centering kick. Good spoil there from Paul. Did well. Schwartz, he's got to be better now. He mops up. And a chain of hand passes ends with Giles Ellis. His hand pass over the top wasn't great, but he got it back in the 1-2. Has a bounce. Now they leave defensive 50 on the eastern side, and that's a... And it spots up and who goes over the top there, looking for his teammate there in Fitzgerald. He just had to paddle it out in front of him. Matson in there for the double blues, diving on top of it. He's going to halve the contest and cause a ball up, but gee, Zach, it's probably the worst we've seen the Eagles play all game.
It was, but it was the best in the terms of the poise that they showed to get themselves out of it. Tommy Schwartz went and did a good job of making up for his error.
He certainly did. He went back in there and he fixed up what he messed up. So the double blues now a chance to come back into there, but the Eagles working it nicely. Now his kick out into open space. Will it sit? It does. Chance now.
Oops.
Oh no, a terrible bounce there by Martin. He probably bit off more than he could chew. Just slipped on the grass there a little bit. Roland gave it to Muirhead, who under pressure got the kick in. Over the top looking for Cully. A chance now here for Raymond. Will it sit for him? The little fella did well. Just took the ball out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in right underneath the old scoreboard there. Magnificent on grand final day, the old scoreboard, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Looks even better if you're a Woodville West Torrens fan at the moment. 4-5-29 ahead of Sturt, 1-1-7.
That's on the scoreboard courtesy of the Prince Albert Hotel. Now here is Rose for the double blues in the defensive goal square. Just drills it outside. Senor did well just to make the contest. For the Eagles, his hand pass, a little bit astray, went to Hurley, and Hurley's neat little kick spots up and finds his teammate there in Paprotny, who drives the double blues further forward. But good work back then defensively from Mackenzie for the Eagles, just sees the ball safely over the line in front of Rory Taggart, and good to see a good sign for Rory Taggart moving a lot better. He normally wears the skins a lot, Zach, but today he's not wearing them, so he must be confident that those hamstrings are holding up well.
Indeed, and it's a nice warm day for the hammies as well, Don. Should have no issues with that whatsoever.
Well, I'm not going to test mine, but at the boundary throw-in, Muller did well, but Kerno did better. Schwartz for the Eagles picked up the ball, but a whistle's gone.
Yeah, the Sturt player was disposed of after he got rid of it, Don, thrown to ground. I think it's Big Ziggy with the free kick.
It is. So Ziggy now with a chance. We've seen this distance test, so I don't think he'd fancy his chances, but he hasn't got any big fellas back on the goal line, so probably Kerno needed to work harder and get back there. He's just standing 20 metres away from him, taking in the big breath, but Vicunis now has been charged with kicking the ball to the hot spot. Who's he got back up there? A big fly from a couple of players. Taggart with the snap. They're under pressure here. Schwartz pushed off it. Free kick gone.
Yeah,
and
high
Schwartz
contact
was
for the
taken
Eagles.
high. A bit lucky there, but he put his head over the footy, Zach.
He certainly did, so he earned the free kick. Really important passage of play here for Sturt nearing quarter time. They're pressing. In general play, they're just starting to get a little bit more of the footy. They've just got to make it translate on the scoreboard.
So Schwartz took the free kick, went short to the back pocket and found Mackenzie. So the right back pocket. Eagles working it down that outer side. Sturt, though, take possession. Well done in there by the player in Atkinson. Got the handball out just in time. Now kicked into half forward, though, for the Eagles. Good turnover from them. Good pressure. Some of them try to keep it in, interestingly. Flicked it over the behind the back. Could have been a possible throw. I've seen that paid a throw before, Zach. Quite an interesting attempt there, but the ball has gone out of bounds nonetheless. Right where the paint of 50 joins the boundary. Dare I say it, in the Eddie Betts pocket. You know what I'm talking about. So it's thrown in. The ruckman go up. Double Blues clear it from the contest. Kerno won the hit out, then it was a rush kick. Ball out towards the outer side, but it's just trickled over the boundary line.
Boys, just that perceived pressure there. Young Rose there was just looking up the body instead of at the ball then at the time when he needed to.
And he had plenty of time to get it too, Don.
So, the ruckman there in Kerno. Kerno did well, got it out to Kelly, the kick to half forward. Couldn't quite take the mark in the front position there, was the big Sturt boy in Guilfoyle. And then the ball comes out now. Sturt couldn't trap it in. Good work down there defensively from Woods. Handballs inboard to a teammate there in Martin. The kick into the centre of the ground is a dangerous one, but it's well weighted. Good mark there from Roundtree. Quick ball movement now from the Eagles. They'll go inside 50. At the back, couldn't take the mark. Summerton, good crumb. Line it, got a handball out. Sturt have some numbers. They'll force it towards the boundary line. Good defensive tackle there from the Eagles forward. No doubt that'll please Coach Jared Wright with a good tackle there from Jake Summerton, Zach.
Yeah, you always want to see that offensive pressure put on inside 50 with some nice tackling.
So in the right forward pocket for the Eagles, the ball's thrown in. Good hit out there from the big man in Mueller. Tap down there to Roundtree. He was wrapped up in a tackle. We're going to have another ball up. 40 out from the Eagles. Umpire Laney Gluftus throws the footy aloft. Kerno, former power rookie, gets his hands on it. The ball ends up in the hands there of the Eagles play. Shot on goal goes across the face as the siren sounds to end an entertaining opening quarter of the 2014 SANFL Reserves Grand Final. And at the first change, it's the Eagles 4-5-29, leading Sturt 1-1-7 on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. And Don Cooper, I believe you have the goal kickers.
I do indeed. For the Eagles, it's 2 to Todd Cully and singles to Angus Roundtree and Matty Raymond. And for the Double Blues, their solitary goal kicker off the one step, Rory Taggart. So a 22-point margin at quarter time. And Zach, you'd have to say that the Eagles, well, they've probably had 80% of the ball use and they've used it very well. And just their pressure at the ball carrier and their gut running really to make that next play has been absolutely dominant over the Double Blues at this stage.
Certainly has, Don. You summed it up well. They're very hungry to win this game. You can tell that with Woodville West Torrens. They've started the contest really strongly. Despite all, they lead 87 to 56. They lead the marks 21 to 11. And key figure, the inside 50s, they're leading 15 to 8. Even leading the rebound 50s 10 to 7, so they're dominating a lot of the areas of the ground, and particularly those guys through the midfield. Jack Muirhead 8 disposals, Angus Roundtree 8 disposals, and also Giles Ellis. Sam Martin with that gut running, as you say, Don really using his endurance to his advantage with 7 touches. Matty Appleton with 7 as well. For Sturt, we flick over, and they're nowhere near as high as that. Henry Carey, their leading disposal winner, with 6. Tom Hurley, with his league experience, had 5 kicks. Newell with 4. Jack Kelly with 4. Jared Leanett with 4 as well. And then we're down to Jack Penfold with 3 handballs. So they really need to lift the Double Blues, and they also need to, support Ziggy Vitkunis and also Rory Taggart inside 50, because those two guys at the moment look like the only two who are going to create any damage on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and speaking of scoreboard, we registered the scores as 4-5-29 to 1-1 at quarter time in favour of the Eagles, but the goal umpires have made the shuffle over to the scoreboard, so there could be an amendment to that score. Champion Data have got it as what we have it here at the ground, 4-5-29 the Eagles, Sturt 1-1-7. What we might do, boys, is have just a little bit of a break, come back and we'll confirm those quarter time scores after this. You're on the SANFL live stream with Don Cooper, Phil Aspinall and Zach Milbank.
I don't know what they go. Like the black stuff comes across the.
Yeah, one of them's a bit. Yeah. One of the eyes is a bit funny. I found sometimes that if I need to, instead of putting your eyes right up against it, let it just sit underneath your eyebrows, and sometimes that takes the black stuff away.
Okay.
Instead of putting them right in your socket.
Yep.
Just try those. It's a little bit better.
I was trying to pick up who was standing Cully, but I couldn't quite get it.
And welcome back here to the SANFL's live stream of the 2014 SANFL Reserves Grand Final between the Woodville West Torrens Eagles and the Sturt Football Club. And at quarter time, it is the Eagles 4-5-29, leading the Double Blues 1-1-7, a 22-point lead to the Eagles. Goal kickers 2 to Todd Cully, then singles to Angus Roundtree, Matthew Raymond, while for the Double Blues, their lone goal kicker, Rory Taggart, the former Demon, Zach Milbank, Phil Aspinall, Don Cooper, your commentators for this afternoon's call. And Don, control proceedings in that first quarter.
Yeah, look, Zach mentioned a couple of times there, just the poise they show under pressure, and this is the biggest game of the year, and there has no more pressure than a grand final, but they've certainly hit the ground running, Zach. They've come to play. They're playing their best football at the moment, and really they're just getting the job done at the moment. They're not letting Sturt get any of that open running play. Very tight in the stoppages there. The players like Matts and Kelly can't get out into any open space at the moment, so they're really being tough and tight in the stoppages there. We've seen Muirhead, Roundtree, they're all getting involved. Then they break to open space, and they've got Sam Martin there involved. They've got young Raymond up forward, Big Cully. They're just winning every position on the ground for mine almost at the moment, Zach.
And conversely, as you pointed out, Don, that incident late in that first term where James Rose had plenty of space on that outer flank on the eastern side, should have picked up the footy near the boundary line, but he sort of hesitated a little bit, was expecting some pressure, but and then fumbled the footy, so it didn't work for the Double Blues. And fumble's a good word to use to describe the way they've been playing in that first quarter, because they've been very untidy, particularly in their back half, where it certainly cost them a goal just in front of the scoreboard way through that first term when the Eagles capitalised and kicked truly.
I think, Zach, Adam Sylvia, the coach, will be disappointed with their midfielders as well, because Mitch Curno's generally getting his hands on the footy first around the ground. He's leading the hit-outs with 8, but the midfielders just aren't capitalising on that.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where the Eagles, full credit to them with their midfield, the guys like Matty Appleton and Angus Roundtree and Sam Martin really stamping themselves on the game early.
We're not far away from resumption in this second quarter on the SANFL's live stream. 2014 Reserves Grand Final. Your first caller to get us underway will be Don Cooper.
Laney Gloucester set to bounce the ball down. It's Mullins and Atkinson, the aerial jousters at the moment. Atkinson might tap down, but the Eagles have done well to get it away. Mullins' second effort was good to Appleton. The Eagles driving themselves forward already. Here's a chance now for them to work the ball forward. That was through Whittlesea, just paddling it around. Roundtree met heavily, got some real pressure then. The Double Blues just trying to work it out. They've got a chance here now through Leanett. With the sunscreen across the nose, his kick was smothered, but it comes out now, and they're out of trouble momentarily, the Double Blues, as the ball spills out here underneath our commentary position, but it sat beautifully for Appleton. His kick was, well, not one of his best, if we that's for sure. It put Fitzgerald under all sorts of pressure. The level, diving on it is Senior, got it back to Fitzgerald, just hooked the left foot kick around the body. Will it sit up? It does for his teammate there, but across the boundary line there was big James Wunke, and a ball will be thrown in. Phil Aspinall.
Just interesting to note, Todd Cully off the ground to start this second term, having his back worked on by a physio down there on the boundary line, so hopefully the Eagles will get him back. He's been the best forward to date.
He certainly has. So Atkinson got the tap down there, but again, just that pressure, Phil.
Yeah, it's been impressive and well spotted with Todd down there, Zach. He's missed a lot of footy this year. I think an ankle injury seen him sidelined for time, so obviously body's just a little bit stiffer and sore, having not played a lot of footy.
So Atkinson this time down. Kelly again couldn't get a clear handle on it. Phil Aspinall will try and get you to clear the ball away, as I've had no luck with the stoppages. We've gone 95 seconds in the second quarter.
So in the right forward pocket for the Eagles, they're kicking to the umpires the Boro, hits it down. Eagles player and Fitzgerald won the hit out. They're sharing it around now through Martin. The handball came backwards. Now it's with the skipper in Muirhead. 60 out from goal. Bang it inside 50 to the hot spot. Little pull down there. Rose through the fingers. Good handball from the Double Blues. Releases Guilfoyle. Defensively, the rush kick came out of defensive 50. Sitting in the box seat, Summerton puts his body on the line and takes a strong mark. Ellis, good work from him. Took a spectacular mark earlier in the season at Woodville Oval. He'll go inside 50 on the lead. Was the player from the Eagles in Whittlesea, but the kick was a poor one. Chopped off by Hurley. So the acting captain for the Double Blues reserves today. Tom Hurley in the right back pocket will clear defensive 50. Good mark almost over the back again by Ellis. Handball came back in ball to Roundtree. They're flicking it around now with Paul. The little man goes inside 50. The kick just couldn't quite find his... Found a little bit of space in Fitzgerald. The handball back to Martin. Back now to Sinor. In a bit of trouble, spins out of it, gives it back now to Martin. From the top of 50, goes inside to the hot spot. Good spoil down there from Kelly. The snap off the left foot, though, by Roundtree. Trying to work it back. Marked down there on the last line by that player. Looks to be Hurley yet again. And Cooper will clear for the Double Blues from the defensive goal line.
Yes, he's had some work to do early, Hurley. So he'll go to the eastern side with a clearing kick out of defensive 50. Mullins almost with the big mark. Charging through, the Sturt players just being wrapped up left, right and centre at the moment. Zach, just the pressure on the ball carrier is enormous. The Eagles are just very tough.
It is. Double Blues clear it out of their defensive 50 at the moment. They're trying to go through that eastern side, as you say, Don, but really battling. So perhaps they should try and open it up through the corridor and get the...
Yeah, they're certainly being given no time or space by the Eagles play. Got to mix it up somehow, because at the moment the game's starting to, even at this early stage, get away from the Double Blues. There's Mullins and Atkinson. Atkinson was just searching for his opponent. The ball missed everyone. Roundtree did well out to Raymond. Oh, Martin, he was just wrapped up in a great tackle. The ball spilt free. Chance now for Signor. He skips one way, then the other. Teammate in open space here if it sits for him. Hand pass over the top was good from the player there in Woods. He got it back in the 1-2. Just centres it, looking for Paul. It was punched away. The Double Blues doing well now. Chance for Kelly. He'll take advantage of the free kick as he sends the Double Blues to the eastern side again. Vic Kunis couldn't take the mark, so he just hacks it forward in hope more than anything. Matson in there to provide support. But a beautiful pickup by Muirhead, playing one of the games of his life at the moment. And a nice little kick finds Raymond for the Eagles. So he's too far out to score. And has he got some big options? He's got leads aplenty forthcoming inside the attacking 50. The kick is a good one, but a great mark in front there. Just Guilfoyle putting his body on the line, Zach, and that's courage when it's needed, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Great mark by Guilfoyle there, showing the example of the way to do it for the Double Blues. We've seen Tom Hurley working well deep in defence this quarter as well.
Campbell, the cross in play, dangerous. Links up with his teammate over there in Paprotny. He just brings it back inboard. He spots up and finds Weech. He's got some time, but he was run down beautifully. Eventually got his kick away. Closing speed was great from the Eagles. It lands in the hands of Roundtree now. He's got Big Mullins on the outer side there. Now uses Sinor. Popped the hand pass over the top. Kelly read it best. Little chipping kick. Will it sit up? Great work from Mackenzie to work back against Vic Kunis there. Chance now for the Double Blues. Taggart under all sorts of pressure. Handball of sorts to Matson. And the ball eventually spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. We've gone just on 5.5 minutes. No change to the scoreboard. Still 4-5-29 the Eagles. Sturt 1-1-7 on the Prince Albert scoreboard. Boundary throw in.
So the ball thrown in. Double Blues ruckman couldn't quite get the hit out there in Atkinson. It comes out to Hurley. The rush snap on goal. Misses to the right-hand side. So a behind to the Double Blues. First score in this second term.
Fellas, Todd Cully coming back onto the ground, had his back worked on, and he's moving a little gingerly, so we'll see how he goes.
So Sturt moved to 1-2-8. The Eagles are 4-5-29. They've taken the kick out. They've moved it to the outer side already, and they've got out of Albie Dunstan at left half back. Chips it over the top, looking for the teammate there in Paul. He was felled after he got rid of it. Nonetheless, the kick was a good one. It was marked by Whittlesea. Left half forward, Tom Whittlesea. Played a couple of league games earlier in the year. He's still a long way from goal. About 90 metres out. He plays on, gets himself in a bit of trouble. To that, it's intercepted nicely by Kelly. He's been one of the Double Blues' better players. Hands it back inboard to the dreadlocked Matson. Back with a 1-2 to Kelly. Now off to Hurley. The Double Blues with some running momentum now. Down there looking for Taggart. Well done, McKenzie. Well done. Couldn't get the hands free. Handball's back. The Double Blues run into the open goal. Carey, who put through his first. An important one for Sturt. A good finish from Carey, but well done by Taggart there just to create the contest, Zach.
Yeah, fantastic, and he did really well to farm it out to Henry Carey, who finished nicely, and good follow-up play from young Carey there as well, just to, I guess, realise that he was never out of the contest and he was going to get on the end of the chain of handballs. So a much-needed goal for Sturt. They've actually picked up in general play, just the feeling of the game. They're right back in this, I think, and if they get the next one, start to question themselves a bit.
Yeah, they're starting to get their hands on the footy in the middle and clearing it as well, and you've got Hurley and Kelly certainly using the ball coming inside 50 with better precision, Don.
They do indeed. Back in the middle, Muller and Atkinson. Atkinson might have got a fingertip just on top. Penfold quickly out to Matson, whose kick was smothered beautifully by Ellis, who's worked himself into the game nicely. The Eagles, just their body pressure and tackle enormous. And a free kick has been found, and it's going to the Double Blues. So a chance now for Weech as he drives them forward. Not quite inside 50 yet, but Kunis couldn't take it. Matson did well, picks it up. There's a chance now here, running back on from 35 metres out. Just put it to the wrong side of the stick, and Zach, a chance gone begging there.
Yeah, a guy like Dylan Matson played some league footy. He should have finished better there from a fairly easy angle there, 35 metres out.
Especially unopposed, Don, with no pressure.
Absolutely.
So the Eagles will take the kick out now through McKenzie. Gets very close to the line, comes to the side, or commentary side, Western stand side. Well done by Appleton. Follows up his crumbing work, then kicks it off to Martin. Martin comes back in board and finds Schwarz. 11 league games of footy this year. He kicks it down the line. Good work from Rowland. The kick to half forward or centre wing. Wasn't trapped. Well done crumbing it though. It looked to be Signor. Goes off the right boot. Puts it to right half forward. And a strong mark there in the pack was Matthew Raymond. He's been lively early, Zach.
He certainly has across half forward. Very dangerous small forward.
The kick inside. Just missed the target. Good tackle down there from the Double Blues player on press. Sturt try and clear it now through Wonky. But it kicks to no one because Rowland's back and he's got some time and space. Takes the mark uncontested. He's at right half forward, western side. The Eagles kicking to that riverbank or southern end.
Needs someone to move for him.
It's very stagnant up in attack there for the Eagles. Rowland now. It's going to be called to play on. He'll go with a pass inside 50 to a pack form. Cully down there just nudged out of it. Umpire put the whistle to the mouth. Good crumbing at the back there by McKenzie, is it? As he snapped it through. In fact, it's the player in Whittlesea. And square crumbing by the big man and a good finish by a big forward. And the Eagles get a bit of a steadier after Double Blues got off to a good start, Zach.
Yeah, a nice finish by Whittlesea, but probably a bit of a mistake there by Sturt. They had three guys up in that contest. One should have stayed down to run with Whittlesea, but he was all alone and he finished nicely with a snap from about 30 metres out.
Yeah, it's still just basic football, isn't it? If you put too many up there, you've got nothing at ground level, and that's where the ball needs to be won in those pack contests. So, yeah, Coach Milbank, I think you need to get onto that one.
Thanks, Donny. We'll send the message through to Adam Sylvie.
Get the runner out. As we're back in the middle with Muller. Waiting for the Eagles. Waiting to jump against Curnow. He just thumped the ball forward in hope more than anything. Proprotny was the recipient for the Double Blues. A nice kick out looking for his teammate there, but couldn't quite find Carey. He's good leg speed though to chase down little Angus Paul, who always likes to have a dip, as we know, boys, don't we?
Not afraid to get in the deep end and work hard.
No, as long as he doesn't have a shallow kick, but he's given away a free here to the... So amidst all the comedy, Sturt have come up with the ball. And they go forward. Just slipping over there was the Eagles player, and a chance now. This time he's a little bit better prepared. Finds Kelly by hand. They're running onto it now. Hurley runs inside 50 on a very tight angle. His shot at goal is magnificent. Oh, Hurley with the burley has put it straight through the middle. His first, the acting skipper. What a up Zach Milbank. He gets his first, as we said. The Double Blues their third. We said they were back in the game. Now they're right back in it.
Superb finish there from Tom Hurley. We know he's a class act and he's a really nice user of the footy, and he's also his team's leading disposal getter at the moment with 12 touches. He's had 11 kicks, 1 handball. He's also had 3 inside 50s and 4 rebound 50s, which goes to show prepared to work at either end of the...
It was a really impressive goal. I must admit, I thought he was going to put it to the hot spot because he had a teammate over the back. He thought he'd do the work by himself, and he finished brilliantly, and he's got his team back to within 14 points on the Prince Albert scoreboard. So we're back in the middle. Kerno wins another hit out. Double Blues player was taken high. Umpire said play on. That was Hurley, the goal kicker. Trying to burst his way through the pack was Appleton. The handball just missed the target. Roland butters up. Off now to Mueller. Gets it out to a running teammate there in Paul. He's got a little bit of space. He'll put it on the right boot. The kick just overshot the mark. Signer couldn't take it. Well done down there defensively by Guildford. Handball's off now. Back inboard to Kerno. Now to the running Penfold. His kick's a poor one. Just couldn't quite find the target there in the big man in one kick. Ball at ground level. Sliding in Vic Kunis. Gets a handball out to the voice. Good work down there. Again, looked to be Hurley. Ball followed up. Good follow-up work there from the big man Kerno. Giles Ellis tries to burst his way through. Takes an opponent out with a hip and shoulder. The umpire comes in and says, my footy.
Both teams a little bit fumbly here because the pressure has ratcheted up a couple of notches, hasn't it?
Indeed, the intensity certainly lifted now that's the contest. So the umpire throws the footy aloft. The big fella in Mullins gets the hit out. It's Double Blues. Couldn't quite keep it in there. Down there by Woods. The side, was it touched off the boot? It was. So it'll be thrown in on centre. We'll have a ball in. Or throw in rather. Directly on that centre wing. Picture perfect day here at Adelaide Oval, the 2014 Reserves Grand Final. It's streamed on the SANFL website. Phil Aspinall, Don Cooper, Zach Milbank, your commentators. So the boundary umpire hurls the footy up over the shoulder. Good work down there by the big man Muller. Gets the hit out on hands and knees. Trying to dive over the top there was Appleton. Matson in there for Sturt as well, extracting himself. Did well. Got a kick to left half forward, but it was intercepted nicely. Marked down there defensively by the Double Blues by Carey, and the Sturt side will look to relieve from defence.
The Double Blues, they'll take it to the eastern side of Adelaide Oval. The kick was too high for Muller just to intercept. Rose has time now. Seems to have relaxed into the game. That was a better kick, but unfortunately not able to take the mark there was big. And the ball forced over the boundary line, so we've gone 13 and a half minutes. The margin now 14, it was 22 at quarter time. And Sturt playing their way back into this 2014 Reserves Grand Final. There's Kerno and Muller. Muller at the front, Kerno at the back, won it. Rose skipped one way, got himself out of trouble, did well. A nice little look-away hand pass to his teammate there. Now finds Hurley. Hurley's kick off the left boot, searching for a teammate. No one forthcoming. Presenting themselves well was the Eagles' defence there. And just sort of still rushing under pressure a little bit, Zach. I think Tom Hurley maybe might have rushed that kick a little bit.
Yeah, a bit surprising from Tom Hurley because usually got a bit more poise than that.
So from the ball up, ball safely seen over the boundary line in front of a crowd that's starting to build, Zach. And from a league's perspective, what sort of crowd are we looking for today, you think?
I'd like to think would push up in excess of 30, perhaps even 35,000, Don. The pre-sales have been really solid, about 7,000 sold comparatively to last year where there was only 4,000 sold before the game.
Yeah, I think 30 magnificent to see here. It'll sound like 100 later on.
Yes.
So the Eagles now through Raymond pushing forward. They've got, I think it's Roland out there. And he goes chipping forward, looking for press. But a good defensive piece of work there from Campbell. Sees the ball over the boundary line. Of the 50 meets the boundary line, as you like to say, Phil Aspinall. 15 minutes gone. It's the Eagles by 14 points. Boundary thrown right underneath the Mark Ricciuto grandstand.
So in the left half forward line, the ball will be thrown back in. Ruckman set themselves. Matson takes the rare opportunity to go for a hit out. It was a shallow throw in down to Hurley. Another disposal. But it's intercepted there by Woods. Takes the mark. It was a rush kick by Matson. Woods goes back inside 50. Flying at the front. 1-2. Couldn't take it. Has that been paid? Umpire says Plana hit the ground. Looked to be the big man there in Fitzgerald. Wheels out. So follow-up tackle. And we're going to have a ball up.
It was indeed. He got some good air, Phil, but just couldn't hang on to it.
So umpire Laney Glufter says my footy. You're going to throw the footy aloft. Taking front position, Kerno tried to win the hit out into some dangerous area. Got a teammate to get a clearing kick away, but it was only as far as the player in Killian.
Just rushing those clearing kicks out of defence, the Double Blues at the moment. They're spotting up the Eagles very well.
Yeah, the Eagles zone's working well. They've spaced it nicely. And Killian took the mark, got called to play on, went sideways now to Dunstan. Albie Dunstan, we've seen him play a bit of league footy forward, playing in defence today. Will kick inside 50. Good spoil down there from the Sturt defender in Guilfoyle. The ball now comes back inside 50. Turn around, sign. He doesn't. He's taken the mark. Didn't think he thought it probably wasn't going to come in as shallow as it did. Was maybe getting back to go crumb front and square. But he turned around at the right opportunity, Zach, and marked it on the chest.
Yeah, he worked his opponent under it really nicely there, Sinor. Had him quite confused and read the drop of the ball a little bit more precisely, I guess, and now he'll line up about probably 20 metres out from a slight angle, so he should finish.
So Joseph Sinor comes in now, makes the umpire work. He misses to the left. Poor kicking from the Eagles. We know bad football. On the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard, the Woodville West Torrens side moved to 5-6-36, Sturt to 3-3-21, 17 term.
So Rory Taggart is needing the assistance of one of the stadium officials to get the ball back from the behind the net there. Kicks to himself and brings it to this member's side, or slipping over, unfortunate, and the ball falls in the hands of Summerton quite easily for the Eagles. And his little kick spots up and finds Sam Martin, 55 out. He's got a lead on short, and it's beautifully presented. And it's Tom Whittlesey, already a goal kicker here. But this is a tougher shot, Zach, so it's about probably a 60-degree angle, and he'll kick from about 50 metres.
It's always more difficult from a set shot. The other one in play, that snapshot earlier on.
Sure, Graham Corns would think he could kick this one as Whittlesey comes in with a floater that's bending back. It didn't do too bad. Just the so it just takes the Eagles on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard along to 5-7-37, 16 points in advance of the Double Blues, 3-3-21. We've gone 17, nearly 18 minutes in this second quarter.
Let's see if the Double Blues can use a bit of method coming out of defence here.
They've got Taggart again, that's chipped to himself, gone to the outer side this time, and on the eastern side, the kick's just overshot the mark. Giles Ellis involved, gives a handball inboard to the player in Schwartz, off now to Roundtree. He's out at the top of 50, the kick inboard. He's found a teammate there in Martin. The whistle had been blown anyway. I think it was felled after disposal. So down field free kick. And Sam Martin, Zach's going to be marking and having a shot on goal from pretty much the same spot there as Whittlesey just took it.
Yeah, a little bit closer in, so and slightly, but it's still a very difficult one. So it'll be interesting to see how he finishes here, Sam Martin.
So Sam Martin was best on ground in the league. Round one game against Centrals. Great run and dash from half-back. Now he's down in attack. Can he finish off? The kick starts it to the right. Too sharp to the left. Goes through for a behind. So the Eagles again inaccurate in front of goal. 5-8-30. Just 3-3-21.
Just see that breeze coming across the face there. Obviously got to start it at the left-hand goal post and let it work back.
We've gone 19 minutes in this second term.
Leak for the Double Blues, just goes straight down the corridor with a clearing kick. This time it's something different. The Double Blues now looking to run it out, but a chance now here. Roundtree it was. He's nice little hand pass to Senior, and Senior has got Whittlesey. All the runs in, bang. Oh, another turnover, another goal. Whittlesey's second, the Eagles marching along, and they're just the beneficiary of the Double Blues mistakes at the moment, Zach.
Yeah, very costly turnover in the middle of the ground there. I think all the Double Blues defenders had swarmed forward thinking they had control of the footy and got caught out terribly on the turnover. We saw inside 50 there was one Sturt defender and about 4 Eagles forwards which could have easily marked the footy, so it was no surprise it finished in a goal for Woodville West Torrens.
Any more turnovers from the Double Blues, boys, and they'll be able to open a Danish bakery.
Bakery's not far from Unley Oval. I was there yesterday. Had a nice chicken pie. But the Double Blues, importantly, just at the moment can't keep themselves in the contest. The Eagles with the ascendancy. Back in the middle. Good tackle in there from Weech on player in Appleton. We're going to have a secondary ball up just outside the centre circle. Umpire David Soberage throws the footy aloft. Trying to take front position there was the big man in Mullins. Couldn't quite get it. The ball comes out now. Rose just soccers it off the ground, kicks it onto his advantage. Chased down by little Angus Paul. Does well, does Rose. Gets himself out of trouble. Then the chip inside 50. Just sat it on the head of his teammate. Good spoil at the back there from the Eagles skipper in Muirhead. The ball's towards the boundary line. Is it kept in play? Yes, it has. The snap around the body from Sturt. Inside to the hot spot. Down. Couldn't quite take it. Good follow-up work. Whistle's blown. We've had a free kick for over the shoulder.
Advantage.
Play on it. The free kick went to the Sturt and Atkinson. And I reckon it might have been the Double Blues boy in line that's gone on and kicked the goal.
Yeah, nice finish there. Obviously took the advantage, so the pressure was on to finish it off, and he certainly did it nicely, Jared Lynott. He's probably been one of Sturt's better performers today. He's currently got the 6 disposals, and Sturt just hanging in there, aren't they, fellas? They're still they're close enough if they're good enough.
Yeah, that's right. And I thought it was good work from Big Atkinson just to put his in the right front position. Free kick accordingly.
And Adam Silvey just mixing it up a little bit. We've got Taggart and Lena who just stayed at their ends at quarter time instead of going. So they flipped it around a little bit, and it's working at the moment. So Mullins with the tap down to Appleton, worked it nicely to Rowland. Off his left boot. Here go the Eagles again. What can they do in response? The double blues standing tall, though. They've got some chances here through Hurley. He's normally neat by
that's
foot.
Better.
Now, that's no exception. He links up with Matson, strolling through the centre of the ground now. The chance for them to go forward, and that's a lovely one-on-one mark to Vic Kunis, and bang, bang. Well, there we go. Double goals, back-to-back for the double blues. There's through Ziggy Vic Kunis. I think that might be his first of the afternoon to get him on the board. So a good confident starter for him after kicking 3 in the preliminary final first quarter last week. So the double blues now 5-3-33 on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. Chasing down the Eagles 6-8 point margin. We've gone 22 and a half minutes, Zach, so good couple of goals in time on.
Indeed, really nice use of the body there, Ziggy Vitkunis. Knew he had the sit and edged his opponent under the ball, took a nice mark and finished off in the goal square, and we saw that chain of kicks start with a beauty from Tom Hurley across the middle of the ground, which set it up nicely.
Yeah, it was great vision, but more importantly, it was great execution. Kicked it off the outside of the boot. We're back in the middle. We've had the first ball up, but it's going to be a secondary one. The umpire says my footy, neutral ball. Schwarz and Weech in there. Umpire throws a footy aloft. Kerno gets the hit out. Matson dives in over the top. Whistle's blown. Free kick for over the shoulder. It's going to go the way of the Eagles, and it's going to go to the player they're impressed. He'll kick it over the top, put it into some space. His teammate Schwarz has run on. The handball came back to the voice of Poole. Just corralled there by Weech. Good work down there. Back outside now to Poole. Got the handball from his teammate in Appleton. And the kick will come around the body. It'll go to the top of the square. Flying at the back there, couldn't take it. The Sturt boy Flute. Looked to be the player in Atkinson. Ball at ground level, trying to clear it out of the defensive line. They'll take it to the sanctity of the line, as in the boundary line, through the skipper Hurley. And the ball will be thrown in. 23 and a half minutes gone, an 11-point ball game. Eagles certainly had the better of them in the opening half, but in the opening quarter, the double blues right back in the contest. The ball thrown back in. Kerno won the hit out. Good follow-up tackle in there from the Sturt player on the big boy Whittlesea from the Eagles. Umpire says nothing in it, my footy. We'll have a secondary ball up. Kerno in there with the sunscreen on the nose. Sitting himself to do the ruck work up against Fitzgerald. So Kerno, another hit out. Hits it towards a teammate, but it's trapped there nicely by the big boy in Whittlesea. He'll kick it to the hot spot. Ball at ground level, taking it nicely. Crumbing it. Was it touched off the boot?
Yes.
It was indeed. Looked like the player in Schwartz thought he'd got it through for a goal, but it was touched right at the last moment. Good work defensively from the double blues. So they move on to 6-10-46 are the Eagles. Sturt 5-3-33. 24 and a half gone in this second term.
So Paprotny from the restart. After that behind Hurley in the left back pocket. Southern end. The double blues bring it to the members' side here in front of the Sir Donald Bradman Pavilion. A big jump there from Guilfoy. Couldn't come down with the footy. And just seeing the ball safely over the boundary line is Matty Appleton. Nearly 25 minutes gone. It's the Eagles by 12, Phil Aspinall.
And just a quick correction on that scorer for the Eagles. It was actually Jake Summerton who had the shot, but it was touched, unfortunately, off the boot.
So from the boundary throw in, Muller did well down to Appleton, but he's apprehended very quickly. And a strong tackle down there. And that was courtesy of the big fella Kerno. Good to see him getting in, working hard at ground level. So the umpire separates the big boys as they go at it. Kerno with the tap down. Muller trying in there on hands and knees. Schwartz as well for the Eagles. Rowland in there as well. And we'll have another ball up. So umpire, yes?
I was just going to say, we talked about Tom Hurley earlier, fellas. He's really lifted. He's now the leading disposal winner on the ground with 18.
That'd be 19 there, but that one's smothered. It falls nearly into Muirhead's hands. Read then by Schwartz, but he's wrapped up. And the tackling pressure been ferocious from the double blues. Carey in there. And getting up off the bottom of the pack, little Jack Kelly.
Blood ruled on. The one coming off with the blood from the nose.
Yeah, he's got a big furrow on his face because he's bleeding profusely from the forehead there. So Matson will come on and replace him very quickly, Phil.
Say that 10 times fast.
I won't say that I worked on that one all week because I didn't know it was coming. So the ball thrown up. Kerno does well. Over the back here. There's a chance for Rowland off his right boot. Hits it to the hot spot. Charging through is Whittlesea. Doing well there to mop up though for the double blues with Jonas.
Kick.
But the kick.
I was just going to give him a rap, Don, because
weren't
he sat down and he waited for the contest to unfold and read it really well off hands, but obviously the disposal by foot there was very costly.
Yes, the commentator's curse, and it's fallen straight into the arms of Jackson Press. So it's now probably about 38, 39 metres out, if I can be more precise, as he strolls in. And the kick on its way. The goal umpire working a little bit to the right. That means a minor score. So the Eagles now 6-10-46 to the Double Blues 5-3-33. Thanks to the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. The margin now 13 points.
Yeah, back-to-back behinds now for to finish off when he gets his opportunity in front of goal. So they've come to this western side.
Good
flying and taking a strong mark there in the hands. Look to be the Sturt boy. Go off the left foot, kick it down the line. Good spoil at the back there from the Eagles player in Woods. Gets a handball out, off to Martin. 1-2, back to Woods. Here's the voice of Killian. The rush kick, though, was down to Penfold. He just dropped it from the Double Blues there, did Jack Penfold. But he shows a turn of pace, doesn't he, Zach? He goes to half forward. Ball spills over the back through the hands of Muirhead. Off to Hurley. The shot on goal off the right boot. He's trying to work it back. Just misses to the right-hand side. So Tom Hurley, the skipper.
Gee, I tell you what, Jack Penfold, that pace he showed through the middle of the ground there, he should be trying to tuck the ball under the wing more often.
It was electrifying. Move to 5-4-34, 6-10-46 on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard.
The ball now in the hands of Signor. He's tackled by Taggart, forcing the Eagles to hand pass around at the moment. Rowland getting involved. Goes out to Signor. Signor's kick, the spots up Roundtree. Oh, great tackle under pressure from Penfold there. Closing speed was great. Whittlesey did well. Siren time, and it could be on here at half time. Well, it's exploded out of nothing there, Zach. They're from everywhere. They're descending on the pack here. There's bodies flying in everywhere. Temperatures rising. The game's gone up a gear, and the heat is hot in the kitchen, Zach.
Certainly is, Don. And the problem usually if the game was still, the umpire can just quickly throw the ball up and get things moving, but obviously being half-time, that's not the case. So very difficult to break these sort of scuffles up when emotions are final.
Indeed, emergency umpire Mitchell Scott out there as well, just to try and calm things down. A lot of spot fires on either side of the initial tussle. Hurley and Mackenzie in there for their respective sides, just having a bit to say to each other.
Calm down now.
Yep, it has indeed. Umpire Michael Zaburo just standing in the middle of them. Good work. So, an intense first half. We've got half-time here in the main game, the reserves game of the 2014 SANFL Reserves Grand Final. And at half-time, we see the scores. It is the Eagles 6-10-46, Sturt 5-4-34, 12-point lead to the reigning reserves premiers. And Don Cooper, can you give us the goal kickers?
Certainly can for the Eagles. Dual goal kickers, both Tom Whittlesey, 2 in that quarter, and 2 to Todd Cully, both in the first for him. Singles to Angus Roundtree and Matty Raymond rounds out there 6 goals. For the Double Blues, their 5 goals are all individually kicked. Tom Hurley, Ziggy Vakunas, Rory Taggart, Henry Carey and Jared Alenit. So 4 of those goals for the Double Blues coming in that second quarter, a term that they dominated to get themselves back in the game, gentlemen.
And Zach, before we have a bit of a break, we'll get you to give some stats out, and then I'll give a bit of a station sponsor plug to Prince Albert Hotel.
Certainly, Phil. If we look at the overall disposals, the Eagles still well on top there with 187 to 127. Marks, they're leading quite comfortably too, 42 to 21. Tackles, Sturt actually on top in that area, 29 to 27. All square in the free kicks, 7 apiece. Hit outs leading the Eagles, 24 to 21. Sturt still very well behind the Eagles in terms of inside 50s, that key stat category, 15 to 31, and rebound 50s. Sturt are leading at 24 to 10. Some of the individual stat getters, Angus Roundtree with 17 for the Eagles, Joseph Sinor with 15, Sam Martin and Sam Rowland 14 apiece, as has Matty Appleton. For Sturt, Tommy Hurley, the acting captain, 20 touches for the Double Blues. Then it drops right away, actually, to Henry Carey on 11, Jack Kelly on 9, and James Rose and Dylan Matson with 8 apiece.
So it's half-time here in the Reserves Grand Final. It's the Eagles 6-10-46, Sturt 5-4-34. We mentioned that's on the station sponsored, or the sponsored Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. And Prince Albert Hotel's at 254 Wright Street. Their schnitzel nights are Tuesday nights, half-price schnitzels, live music on a Friday night, and of course head along and try their famous Mexican burger out on the balcony. And of course they are a West End provider, so enjoy a West End in the West End. Function rooms to suit any occasions as well. So head along and see Matt at the Prince Albert Hotel at 254 Wright Street, and we appreciate them sponsoring the scoreboard.
Jeez, it'd be a good night to have one of those Mexican burgers out on the balcony, wouldn't it, boys?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. And just so I don't know, who makes the Mexican burgers? A bloke called Andre, isn't it? Andre.
Well, half-time here in the Reserves Grand Final. It is the Eagles leading by 12 points. Phil Aspinall, Don Cooper's at Millbank. We'll have a break and come back with all the second half action in about 20 minutes. Yeah, to grind. A mixer.
When they break out of that oven.
Yeah. And welcome back here to the SANFL live stream of the 2014 Reserves Grand Final between the Eagles and the Sturt Football Club. And at half-time, it is the Eagles sitting on 6-10-46, Sturt Football Club 5-4-34. Entertaining opening half. The Eagles got the better in the first quarter, kicking 4 goals 5 to 1-1. But then the Double Blues were able to kick themselves 4 goals 3 in that second term. To the Eagles, they only managed the 2 goals 5, an inaccurate 2 goals 5. Phil Aspinall, Don Cooper, Zach Milbank, your commentary team for the SANFL live stream. We're about 2 or 3 minutes away from resumption in this second half. And Zach, we certainly saw a tale of two halves. We saw the Eagles dominate early, but Sturt certainly got the ascendancy in that second quarter.
Certainly, Phil. They got themselves right back into the contest, right across the ground, every position, getting their hands on the footy. But the Eagles probably still a couple of shots on goal. You can see there with the scoring shot, 6-10 to 5-4. Probably should be a little bit further in front, and as we say, half-time, the stats, they're convincingly in front in a lot of areas. The big one for me, for the Eagles, is Todd Cully. He's come off the ground again to start this second half. He obviously started the game really strongly, kicking a couple of goals in that first term, but he's gone right out of the contest, had his back worked on there early in the second term, and doesn't seem to be quite right.
Yeah, he does look to be fairly ginger. As you mentioned, you'll notice him getting the work done on the back, and we touched on the fact that he's had a lot of injuries over the career that he's had. I think he missed 3/4 of the year with an ankle injury, sustaining it in the league game against Centrals. But we're underway now in this third quarter of the Reserves Grand Final. Your first caller will be Don Cooper.
The Premiership quarter of the Reserves, big dance, and the big men are set to tango. Atkinson got the tap down. Appleton read it best for the Eagles. Kick inside 50 very quickly. Spoiled away from Whittlesea. It sits now, and the Double Blues momentarily out of trouble through Guilfoy. His kick into open space has found about row 8 back there, Zach. So whoever's sitting out there, they've just got their first touch of the afternoon. So the relieving free kick will be given to Angus Poole. So Poole wants to bring it inboard. Just hasn't stepped over the boundary line yet, so not called to play on, so now he does. The kick was touched off the boot. Big spoil from Leanett. Backs to whence it came. Poole did well then. Linked up with Muirhead to Roundtree. That combination's been damaging today. Chance now for Woods. He span into and out of trouble. The Double Blues now did well through Penfold, who spots up to find Rose. Good vision there. Rose has got a runner inboard for him. A nice clearing kick for the Double Blues there. And the ball punched away. Chance now for Matson. He's being corralled. It goes back to Penfold. He's got Hurley there. The ball have to sit nicely for him. It didn't. Sat better for Schwartz, who did well under pressure to get the hand pass. It's back now to Schwartz. Killian there. Just dodged around his opponent there in Taggart. And found Woods. And Woods goes across the face of goal. Switcher plays on. And finds Dunstan. So the Eagles now are away on the outer side. And a nice little kick finds Raymond, who was busy in the first quarter. He's going to link back up with Dunstan, brings it back inboard. They want to use the corridor now, the Eagles. Chipping kick finds Martin. We know he likes to run, but this time he turns and kicks, and he's got Giles Ellis in open space. Can he run? He has a bounce.
Oops.
Oh, the bounce went almost over his head. He wants to take up umpiring nearly. Whips it back to Mullins. Check side off the outside of the foot. Kick inside 50. Big spoil away from Summerton. The Double Blues are under pressure here. Hurley.
Oh,
he
someone's
needed to be
down.
at ground level there. We'll keep an eye on that. as the Eagles run it out through Sanur. It comes to Martin. He arches the back. He runs to 40. And he's put it to the wrong side of the stick. So big build-up, but in the interim, we've got a player down there for the Eagles. Zach, can you see who that is?
Can't quite pick it up at the moment. Can you pick that up, Phil? But whoever it is, he's in a bit of trouble. He hasn't really moved too much.
It's
so
one of the big fellas. It's either for mine, it's going to be Whittlesea or perhaps...
From the Eagles, of course. Yep.
Yeah, I thought it might have been Summerton, but he's there because he was in that contest, and I don't know, boys, I can't see Whittlesea there at the moment.
Here comes a stretcher anyway.
I just spotted Whittlesea out the back, so it could be the other man in Tasman Fitzgerald, but we'll get it confirmed shortly. Play's going to be held up in the meantime because the Eagles have called for a stretcher.
We just saw with that piece of play, the Eagles did really work it out of defence very nicely. That real AFL-style switch across the outer side of the ground. Then they brought it back in through the corridor and opened up this closer side of the ground on the western side and moved it inside 50 really well. Just a shame that Sammy Martin didn't finish off the piece of play on the run.
Yes, it would have been a very nice finish because you're right, Zach, they did use the ball very well. Just that lateral switch and then bring it back, use the corridor, forcing the double blues to run and try and spread a little bit further, but in doing so to try and defend, they opened them up. So very clever use of the ball and good coaching there too.
Certainly was. So we'll certainly see if the double blues can shut that type of footy down for the Eagles. Meanwhile, the stretcher's laid on the ground here by the felled Eagle. We're still trying to pick up who it is. There's quite a number of trainers surrounding him.
I think it may be Tasman Fitzgerald. I haven't spotted him out at the huddle. It is a taller player. We just see by the length of the stretcher they've had to extend out. They are telescopic and they've put it at full length. And they're just concerned for his safety. They've put the neck brace on him.
It was just a mid-air collision as well, fellas. Just seen the replay and about 2 or 3 players flew up for the footy and he sort of just seemed to land heavily on the turf.
The players now splitting from the huddle, and I can't see number 31 out there for the Eagles, so I suspect it is, like I said, Tasman Fitzgerald. Played a couple of league games earlier in the year. So at the moment, we've got a stoppage because of a player being stretchered off. We're 4 minutes into the third quarter. It's the Eagles, 6-11-47, Sturt 5-4-34.
Yeah, just one of those unfortunate football incidents, and look, a young man just putting his body on the line for the jumper, and let's hope he's all okay. But as we see these days, Zach, no chances taken when players have injuries like this to make sure that, particularly for spinal injuries, suspected spinal injuries, of course we're not saying that, but just to make sure nothing's right and nothing's wrong, they do take all those precautions.
Yeah, really important to take time and make sure everything's in place before the player is put on the stretcher and taken off in a very timely manner. And I guess the other interesting thing, both teams huddled in their respective groups there for a minute, had a few words to say. They've now broken up and in positions, so it'll be interesting to see which team fares the better after this long stoppage in play. How quickly can they switch on and make sure that they maintain focus?
Well, the Double Blues look to be setting themselves up for that cluster that we spoke about earlier. A big group of them at centre-half back. The kick-out will be taken once the play is being cleared.
Looks like they're about to lift him up.
So, not good news for young Tasman Fitzgerald if we suspect it is him. We're almost 90% certain it is. He's been stretched off. The Eagles officials doing a great job, as all SANFL club doctors and officials do.
Todd Cully coming on the ground to replace him.
Still doesn't look 100%,
no, he doesn't.
Zach? Just a bit ginger with the jogging style. But nonetheless, he'll go down into the forward line and create that big body.
Getting a nice reception coming off too, which is good to see.
So hopefully we'll get it confirmed later and get an update on the Eagles player coming off on the stretcher. But in the meantime, play will resume very shortly. And it'll be Lynott that'll take the kick out for the Double Blues. Just waiting for him to clear the field. Now Pye should blow time back on. Eleni Gluftis does so. Play is underway. 6.5 minutes gone. 13-point margin in favour of the Eagles. The kick out goes long and direct down the middle of the ground. It's a long kick. Good spoil at the back. The Double Blues have some numbers. The handball over the top. Releases the player there in Campbell. Can he get his possession right? He goes inside 50 with a wobbly kick. Tag it down there for the Double Blues. Well done, Mackenzie. Good body work. Releases Dunstan. A good shepherd off the footy. And Albie Dunstan's kick just at the feet of his teammate there, Martin. Good pressure down there from Rose. And after that one incident on that outer side there where he looked a little bit proppy going at the footy, young Rose has been impressive since, Zach.
He certainly has. He's responded well and he's got plenty of talent. He's certainly on the radar of AFL recruiting scouts.
So the ball thrown in, right half forward, 55 out from goal. The big man there in Mullins just taps it to his advantage, then taken in a tackle. There are the Eagles. The umpire says my footy. We'll have a secondary ball up. Sam Martin picking himself up off the deck. Umpire Zaboro throws the footy aloft. Good body work in there from Atkinson. The hit out over the top. One key took possession. He was wrapped up in a tackle. Good tackle in there from Roundtree, holding the footy. Didn't expect nothing less from Angus Roundtree, Zach.
Certainly, he's a very strong-bodied midfielder.
Hard at it is Roundtree. He goes short with a pass. He found his teammate there in Roland. Then they release it to the outer side through the player in Paul. They're now moving forward. They've got some numbers over the top. Schwarz receives the handball. He was running. He'll take a bounce. He's getting chased down by Matson. The kick inside 50 is a poor one. Well intercepted down there by the Double Blues, and it was Paprotny that took a strong mark. He'll switch it across the face of goal. That's a dangerous kick from him, but he's found the skipper in the right back pocket. Defensive 50 are the Double Blues, and it's Hurley with the footy.
The Hurley, just a chip over the top, outside of defensive 50. Finds his teammate there in Guilfoyle. Hands off now to Penfold. Penfold back towards the middle of the ground. It needs to sit nicely. It does for Atkinson. There a chance here now, Sturt. It's a one-on-one in the forward position there. Taggart couldn't win out. Appleton read it best. Just shrugs the tackle, goes sideways, and he's got Paul. So Paul still in defensive 50 for the Eagles.
McKenzie doing a good job there, Don. Spoiling Taggart.
It was indeed. He's a tough man to beat, but he did well without giving away the free kick. Now the ball in the hand of Dunstan. So Dunstan prepared to be patient here, and he goes short. It's a dangerous kick. It needed to be good, and it was a strong mark as well. So the Eagles just working it out nicely. Martin goes wider now. Good spoil by Propotny on pull there. Chance now for Matson to pick up. If he's clean, he does. He gets the hand pass to Penfold. He's under pressure. Shrugged the tackle.
Jeez.
Beat 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it on the left boot, but he was out of bounds before he got the kick, Zach. So probably fortunate.
For the Eagles, because, we saw his pace there. He's got it to burn, hasn't he? So hopefully he can use that to his advantage in this second half as his opponents are getting more weary, because we see very warm conditions out there, fellas. A lot of the players coming off onto the bench are wrapping themselves up in some wet towels.
Yes, it is warming up, and this game's warming up as well. A chance now for Newell to clear it. He needs support from the Double Blues. They've got some numbers there in Leanett. His high searching kick goes inside 50. Taggart, ball spoiled away. Doing well the Eagles as they run it out of defence. Couple of bounces, now 3. Working out nicely with a long kick along the centre wing. The Double Blues reading it well though. Charging through to meet the ball, and that's a nice movement too there by Jonas. His kick though, thwarted by Killian. Schwartz mopping up for the Eagles. Finds McKenzie. Under pressure, got his kick. Now they're away on the outer side here, the Eagles. Paul's got plenty of time and plenty of space, and he's got Muller, and he's going to have to hold up. He's got press over the top if he can get it there. How's the kick? It wasn't the best. It made Press search for it, and under pressure, doing well. Out there was the Double Blues defence. And just probably, Zach, that kick needed to be better from Muller, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't quite right, although the Eagles did a good job once again of switching the play and finding plenty of space on that eastern side.
Atkinson, the tap down. Appleton got the arms free. Turned inside. Found Muirhead. Muirhead's got a one-on-one here. How's the kick? It's a lovely kick, and it's a lovely mark too. And Sam Martin, Zach, using that pace to get out, and just a lovely piece of play then from the Eagles.
Yeah, really nice weighted kick by Muirhead there. Kicked it to the fat side, as we say, into space for Sam Martin to run onto it nicely.
So Martin, who had a running shot on goal earlier but couldn't put it through the middle. How's this one? Nice off the boot, but fading well to the right. So accuracy coming back to bite the Eagles there. 6-12-48. The Double Blues 5-4-34 on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. So a 14-point margin. And Phil Aspinall will bring us back into play.
Lynott will bring the footy back into play for the Double Blues. He chips to himself and he'll kick to the outer side. Good double-fisted spoil down there by Whittlesea. Ball at ground level, rove by Paul off the outside of the boot. Good vision. Spots a teammate. It's pressed down there. He's all alone. He runs to 30, kicks a goal.
Really nice use of the footy there, Angus Paul. Very poised. He could have easily blazed away, but he saw his teammate in space over the top, and a really nice finish there for the Eagles. They do need to put some scoreboard pressure on because they've had plenty of the footy, and they've also had more than double the scoring shots now.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on the inaccuracy of the Eagles, and we saw that Sam Martin kicked that behind a moment ago. His third for the day. No doubt Press will be pleased to get a goal, Don Cooper, because prior to that he'd had the 2 behinds, and now he's got his first.
Yes, and young Jackson press, he will be impressed, won't he, Phil? So he's
He will
corrected
indeed.
that now, and we're back in the middle. Umpire Sobrage about to get us underway with a perfect bounce, gives each ruckman a chance. Muller might have got the better of it from Curnow. He got the clearing kick to Muller. His second effort was great. Running out to meet it now is Jonas, shrugs one, got the hand pass away, found Weech, he gets it back in the 1-2. They're working it a bit better, more confidently now, the Double Blues, although the kick wasn't the best. Chance now for Giles Ellis for the Eagles to work it out of trouble. He needs support. He gets it back in the 1-2. Nice little chipping kick. Well, it needed to thread the eagle.
Oh, he did well,
Lucky
Roundtree.
Roundtree was there, spun into and out of trouble. The kick's in front of Sonor. He's under pressure as well. McKenzie did very well. Just popped it over the top to Paul, who had a bounce, and he'll have to go back and get it because they're not finding it too easy to bounce the ball out there today. But that's a lovely lead up by Press and a nice kick too, and Press over the top. Well, he's got Muirhead in open space. They're just lining up now, the Eagles. Zach?
Yeah, we're really seeing those midfielders we talked about pre-match, Don, getting on top now, like Poole and Muirhead and Roundtree.
So Muirhead to the hot spot. Where's the leapers? Only the Double Blues there. Can they work it out of here? Hurley needs to be good. He was caught. Got it out to Atkinson, whose kick in search of Matson went over the boundary line and out of bounds. So a 20-point margin now, 13.5 gone. And the Double Blues, even though they came at the Eagles in the second quarter, that margin, which was 12 at half time, is blown out. So from the boundary throw-in, big punch away by Sonor doing the ruck work. Surprise, surprise out there. Going through is Roundtree, looking for the free kick. That won't be forthcoming. His acting skills not winning any Academy Awards or free kicks there. And we'll have a ball up, only about 30 metres out, maybe even 25 from the goals. The ball thrown high, comes down to ground level. Appleton's in there. And so too is Guilfoy for the Double Blues, and that negates the contest. So we'll have another ball up. 14 minutes gone. It is the Eagles by 20 points.
So umpire Lanny Gluftus will throw the footy aloft in the right forward pocket for the Eagles. The hit out came down there from the big man in Curnow, but it was trapped by the Eagles under some pressure. Just caught cold turkey there was the big man in Cully. Good tackle from the Double Blues. Good work out there from Curnow. Released a handball there to Matson off the left boot. We'll kick it to centre wing. Good contest out there by Wonky. The ball spoiled into the centre square. Good pick up down there by the player in Appleton. The kick off the left boot comes into again. Well trapped down there by Martin. Just tries to evade around his opponent. Heard the voice there of Paul. Handball's off. Good kick inside 50. He's got Summerton left half forward. He's marked at about 48 out from goals at Millbank. He's on a tight angle, but he's going to have to kick it a long way.
Really test him. I'm very impressed by the ball use of Angus Poole in this quarter. He's been very constructive, setting his teammates with some shots on goal.
So the player there in Jake Summerton will come in now. He's today hasn't managed to get on the scoreboard. Yes, he has. In fact, he's kicked it behind. So Summerton will kick it from right on 50. Just outside. He starts it right. It's working its way back. Has it got to the goal line? I think it's a goal. It's a goal to Summerton and a goal to the Eagles. It was right at his full measure. A good finish from the young man. And the Eagles now move on to 8 goals, 12-60. Sturt 5-4-34, 15.5 gone in the third term. And that's on the Prince Albert scoreboard. A good goal to the Eagles, Zach.
Certainly was, and real danger period here for Sturt. We talked about which club would respond well after that long stoppage in play, Taz Fitzgerald coming off the ground, and it seems to be the Eagles who have responded best, 8-12-60 to 5-4-34. And as we say, some of those key midfielders in Martin, Appleton, Roundtree, they're the leading disposal winners on the ground at the moment. They're getting on top.
So Summerton with his first. He kicked a couple of important ones in the second semi. Kelly with the elastoplast headband just got it out with a clearing kick from the stoppage. And a nice mark taken by Woods. So Woods across the ground as they're doing so nicely. They're opening up the Double Blues onto the eastern side of the ground.
Poole again.
Yes, he's getting involved. His kick wasn't really the best. It set Schwartz up. Senor backpedaling, tackled under all sorts of pressure. No chance to even get a disposal away. He's wrapped up by two Double Blues players. And we'll have a ball up. It's on the right half forward flank, right underneath the Jack Odie stand. And the Double Blues, and they'll need to be inspired by him, I think, if he's looking down on them. Rowland did well, got through a couple of tackles, got it to Schwartz under pressure. His kick just wobbled to Whittlesea, but he links up with Press. Press's kick inside 50 wasn't the best, didn't give Raymond too much of a chance. And the Double Blues will clear. And how will it sit? It's out in front of a couple of players. Good one-on-one contest here. Oh, nice tackle too there. It looked like it was Martin. It was indeed. His closing speed to get to Campbell was very good again. Forces the stoppage. True centre wing position. Members side. Ball comes out now. Press did well. Hand pass. The Eagles keeping cool, calm and collected. But Curnow, a nice smother there, and we'll have a boundary throw in. So 17 and a half minutes gone. 26-point margin now. The Eagles edging away. They've dominated most of the play. The Double Blues came back at them in the second quarter, but they've responded. As Zach said, who was going to respond? We've got our answer at the moment. Curnow with the big punch over the top. Roland just missed it. Could have been infringed. Was. And comes up with the free kick. Quick by hand to Woods. Woods with the kick inside, looking for Cully. Worked underneath it. Rose now has to be neat for the Double Blues. Arched the back. Did well. Kick wasn't the best. It's going to put his teammates under a lot of pressure here. And a free kick will be paid. He's charging through there. It looks like it's Atkinson. And takes the kick. And good work there from Tommy Schwartz to force the ball over the boundary line. So 18 and a quarter minutes gone. It's a 26-point margin to the Eagles. We'll have a boundary throw in 60 metres around from the Eagles' goal. That's at the northern end of beautiful Adelaide Oval.
So the boundary umpire prepares himself to hoist the footy back in over the shoulder. The ruckman go at it. Mullins wins out front position. Ball at ground level. Trying to just farm out a handball. Was the player there in Schwarz. Off now to Rowlands to the hot spot. Couldn't quite take the mark. Was the Eagles player. Rushed through for a behind. Summerton involved there again. So the Eagles move to 8-13-61. Sturt are 5-4-34. And the Eagles have turned it over from the kick out. They're back in board 50. Good kick to the hot spot. Good spoil Atkinson. Great crumbing down there. Sonor. Can he keep it in? Jeez. No, it's out of bounds on the full.
He should have done better there. He had two teammates free as well. He had to finish on goal. If not, he should have given that off.
Yeah, it was on the non-preferred left foot rather, and he just couldn't quite execute it. So Lynott will take the free kick in the right back pocket. He's got a teammate short. Goes dangerously in board. It's a poor kick again, and it's been intercepted once again. The Double Blues in all sorts of trouble with their kick-outs. And the Eagles player that's intercepted and marked is the man in Giles Ellisack.
Yeah, if you're going to kick into the corridor like that from a stoppage, you've got to be very, very precise. And certainly weren't on that occasion, the Double Blues. And they're getting right on top here now, the Eagles. So we'll soon see if Giles Ellis can put them even further in front.
Fair bit happening down in the goal square off the footy. Ellis's kick's on the way, and inaccuracy yet again, costing the Eagles. Ellis misses to the right. He's first behind of the day. The Eagles move to 8-14-62. Sturt a 5-4-34. 19-20 minutes gone in this third term.
Yeah, Jared Lena was just put fair and square on his derriere down there in the goal square, boys. A little bit going on between he and Summerton after that indiscretion.
We talked about the bakery before. He got one right in the bread basket.
So Lena now recovers and finds his teammate in Propotny. He goes to Rose, so they clear it outside of their defensive 50 for the moment. Rose, I like the way he's worked himself into the game after a tentative start. Chance now here, Roundtree decapitated, and he's gone back into remonstrate as well. No need to. You've got the free kick, Angus.
There's a bit of heat in this, isn't there, boys?
There is indeed.
Sturt can sense that it's slipping away a little bit.
And 25-metre penalty now paid by umpire Michael Zaboro.
Yes, Dunkley just the indiscretion player there, just giving Angus Roundtree one too many, but Angus was quick to want to fire up though, Zach, wasn't he?
He certainly was. He really needs to make this count on the scoreboard now, because the other factor we need to be mindful about, guys, is the Eagles probably going to be one short for the rest of this game, obviously with Taz Fitzgerald off the ground, and you can see the rotations are going to be really important in this warm sun.
Spot on there, Zach Milbank, as Roundtree comes in with a low kick, and it's a lovely
nice
pass. Yes, wasn't it? Picked out Summerton beautifully. He just didn't even know he was leading for that. And Angus Roundtree, well, wasn't his best kick, but it set up a nice shot here for Summerton. So he's already kicked the one today. So Jake Summerton struts in, 15 metres out, very tight angle.
Oh, he's got it.
He has drilled it. That's his second for the afternoon, as he said. He kicked two in the second semi-final. He replicates that performance here today, and the Eagles just marching on at the moment. They're 9:14.68. The Double Blues 5:4.34. That's on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard. We thank them for their sponsorship this afternoon. Double the score now, Zach, slipping away from the Double Blues.
What I really liked about that shot on goal, Dom, was the fact that Jake Summerton took the old-fashioned way. He lined up straight in front, didn't do any of this sort of standing sideways Gaelic footy action like Stevie Johnson, and he kicked truly, so it was really good to see.
Yeah, lovely kick on goal. Kicked straight through the ball and split the middle.
My mother-in-law, a seamstress, would have been impressed with the way he threaded the eye of a needle there. It was very impressive. So the ball's back in the middle. Ruckman flew early. Coming away nicely was Roundtree with another good handball. Player off the footy was Feld. Martin goes inside, 50 for the Eagles. And is it that man again? Summerton, he's on a bit of a hot streak at the moment. Kicked one from a very similar spot earlier, maybe even a little bit closer, Zach. So from probably 48 metres out, you'd suspect he's got to carry at 50. He's every chance.
Certainly is Jake Summerton. You see the Eagles getting right on top now. The inside 50 count, it's the gap is widening. Eagles 44 to Sturt 18.
So Summerton now will kick from the left forward pocket. He'll step inside the paint of 50. The kick's on its way. He's trying to work it back. It's not going to make the distance. Mark down there, is it? Rush through for a behind. So the Eagles move on to 9:15.69. Sturt of 5:4.34. And in this third term, we've gone 23 minutes.
So Propotny very quickly finds Penfold. He wants to scurry off. He leaves Sonora in his wake. The kick was a worm burner. Found Rose. Spun out of trouble. Releasing Jonas. How good is he? He can't keep his feet though. The Eagles under enormous pressure with a clearing kick. If it sits for Muller, he's got players on over the top. He's got Press to start with. Press looks up. He has a bounce. It bounced further than what he thought again. Got the hand pass away just in time. Sonor's in trouble now. Tried the don't argue, but he's wrapped up beautifully in the tackle there. And that was great work then from Jared Leanett.
Interesting to see, Don, a couple of times when players it's just going right back over their head, hasn't it?
It certainly has. That's a sign the turf is in fine fettle underfoot at the moment here at Adelaide Oval. There's Summerton again with and this time he's going to use Woods. So Woods with his clearing kick, but it's all Leanett back there. Oh, it's actually Atkinson. So Atkinson hands off to Matson. The kick was terrible looking for Curnow. Paul found himself in open space, but his kick was equally terrible. And it falls back to the hands of the Double Blues now through Jonas, who comes inboard, finds Propotny. Propotny can go further across the ground and finds Leanett, this time on the members' side, right in front of the hill there. And I'm sure that'll be packed this afternoon as the crowd's building. You can tell there's a massive crowd back behind the grandstands too, boys, so we're going to have a big crowd here this afternoon. And in the meantime, the kick comes up to centre wing. Chance now for the Double Blues. Atkinson uses Matson, shrugged one that got between three Eagles players, did well. The kick just finds the boundary line, rolls over the line out of bounds. 25 minutes gone. It's a 35-point margin. Boundary throw in Phil Aspinall.
Yeah, much like it was at Amy Stadium years gone by. I was out of the ground before the resumption of this game, and there was plenty of barbecues and good atmospheres out there with lots of supporters getting into a bit of banter. We're underway with the throw in here. The Double Blues player in Weech got the handball from Hurley. The kick. One, it's intercepted by Albie Dunstan, then Lux of Fortune. The kick off the left foot fell into the arms there of Roundtree. Made good effort to get there. He'll come back inboard with a kick to Martin. He squared it up at centre half back. Sam Martin, you'd have to start thinking about contenders for the Bob Lee medal. And Sam Martin's name springs to mind, along with Angus Paul.
And Roundtree.
Indeed. So the Eagles again on the attack. They're at half forward. They've got Schwartz who's marked it. Threads the eye of a needle with a nice hand pull. To Paul. Inside 50. Summerton, the kick just a little bit over the top. He jumped early. Good defensive work down there by Propotny. He'll come to this grandstand side. He squares it up and finds a teammate there and line it. He then chooses to go back across the other side. A dangerous kick. Paul just overran it. The lucky bounce for the Double Blues. They've got some numbers back. Little Penfold in there. Did nicely. Play on advantage the call. The free went to Sturt. It's now in the hands of Big Curnow. We'll hand it backwards. Centre half back. They'll switch it onto this grandstand side, and it looks to be the player there in Jonas who's marked. He'll swing back inboard. Gets a good shepherd from Weech. He'll play on now, like his brother. He'll kick it to half forward. The kick just couldn't quite find the target. Taggart traps it well, goes inside 50. Where's Ziggy? Good well mark played in the front position there by Killian. That's definitely a win to him there. And the kick to the outer side, looking for McKenzie. Boy from Geelong, the handball over the top, releases Schwartz. They've worked it nicely. They've got some numbers over the top. And it's now with the player there in Raymond. He'll kick it inboard, looking for his teammate. Good pick up there by the player in Whittlesea. The Eagles again go inside 50. Signor down there. Good work, though, by the Double Blues defenders. The bounce just didn't quite favour them. They have some numbers, do Sturt. They've done well to get it through Guilfoyle. Then they'll switch it to this grandstand side. And it's again Tom Hurley, the skipper, who's marked and is away from defensive 50.
So 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Again, nearly lost it in the bouncing. Under pressure from Summerton. Caused the poor kick from Hurley. And it's taken by Roundtree in centre wing. On the members' side, right in front of your commentary position, bringing you this live on the SANFL website. As Roundtree now back inside 50.
Well done.
Oh, well done by Whittlesey. Strong, good vision, and finds Cully. Well, you can't miss him with that blonde bit at the front of the hair there, Zach. Picked him out beautifully, but wasn't it good, just strong work from Tom Whittlesey there. And he just opened the eyes up, saw Cully there, and a chance now for Cully to slot his third.
Certainly was. He was able to maintain his feet despite being tackled and got a nice snap pass over to Cully. And once again, Angus Roundtree involved in that passage of play. He's certainly making himself a contender for the Bob Lee medal. He's now the leading possession winner on the ground with 23.
And Cully with his skip and a stuttering start doesn't matter because he's drilled the centre for his third, and the Eagles marching away with this grand final at the moment. They're 9-15, 10-15 now, 75. The Double Blues 5-4-34 on the scoreboard, brought to us by the Prince Albert Hotel. A 41-point margin, 28 gone third quarter, Phil.
And they say, Zach Milbank, the third term is normally the premiership quarter. The
Yes.
Eagles certainly proving that to be the case.
Indeed. Sturt haven't scored this quarter, which says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Doesn't help.
Exactly. So we're in the middle. We're back underway. Umpire Laney Gluftus, her first reserves grand final, ready to bang the Burley into the hallowed Adelaide Oval turf. She does so. That's a poor one. Needs to be recalled. So we'll have a secondary ball up. This time she'll throw it up.
Hey, don't worry about that. You can't be dropped next week.
Exactly. She'd want to finish the year on a high. She'd obviously made her league debut earlier in the year. So the two ruckmen go at it. Play there in Curnow rather. Couldn't quite get the hit out. Eagles opponent there, Muller in there as well. We're going to have a secondary ball up. So Muller up against Atkinson this time. Atkinson wins the hit out. Good trap there by Rowland. Handballs over the top. Releases a teammate there in Paul. The kick to half forward is a good one. It just sat at the feet of Whittlesey. Good trap. Good crumbing there front and square from Raymond. Gets a handball back now to a teammate. Touch of the fumbles there from Appleton, but he has time and space. The kick, though, partially smothered. Well done by the Double Blues. Matson intercepts, gets the handball back in board. Good work, Kelly. Crunched there was the player in Penfold. That was a huge tackle by the big man, but look at the little fella go. Like a fine wine, he marches through, but then the kick's a poor one. He set it up for his teammate to run onto it, but it was intercepted there by the player in Killian. Just gave too much work there for Curnow to get to it. Little Jack Penfold shows some excitement, Zach. I think the Crows had him on their top-up list earlier in the year.
Yes, he certainly spent most of the summer training with the Crows SANFL team, and I think he benefited from it.
He's certainly got a touch of pace. The ball's now over at the outer-side half-forward flank, and as the siren sounds, umpire Eleni Gluftus had called for a ball up. That is three-quarter time. We'll keep an eye for any spot fires like we saw at half-time. Nothing.
Sturt boys would want to conserve their energy for the last quarter.
Exactly. So at three-quarter time of the reserves grand final, it's the Eagles 10-15-75. Sturt a 5-4-34, a 41-point lead to the Eagles. And Don Cooper, you have the goal kickers.
I do indeed. It's 3 to Todd Cully, 2 each to Jackson Press and Tom Whittlesey, and singles to a Roundtree, a Summerton and a Raymond for the Eagles. For the Double Blues, well, they haven't made any ground since half-time. It is still singles to Hurley, Vitkunis, Taggart, Carey and Lenat. So, Zach, at three-quarter time, well, the margin was 12 points at half-time. Now at three-quarter time, we see it's 41. The Eagles have really blown the game apart with some fantastic football.
They have 4 goals, 5 to no score in that third term, Don. The Eagles certainly taking control of the contest, and it's reflecting on the stat sheet once again. The Eagles 287 disposals to Sturt 188, 71 marks to 35, and particularly in the inside 50 count, that gap really widening in that quarter. Now the Eagles have 49 to Sturt's 20. If we look at some of the better individual stat winners, Angus Roundtree leading the way for the Eagles with 23, Sam Martin with 22, Woods 21, Matty Appleton 21. Angus Paul had a really good quarter that term in the third. He's now up to 20. Sam Rowland, I really liked his game. He's had 18 along with Tom Schwartz. flip over to the Double Blues, and it's really pretty much a one-man band with the acting captain, Tom Hurley, leading the way with 23 disposals. Then it drops right away. Jack Penfold, who we saw there trying to create some dash for the Blues, with 14. Dylan Matson, 14 as well. Jared Leanett and has 13, and Rune Gilfoy with 12.
Yes, too little from too few for the Double Blues, and plenty from everyone from the Eagles at the moment. So at three-quarter time, it's a 41-point margin to the Eagles. Picture-perfect conditions here. You feel they're building towards back-to-back premierships here. We'll take a short break. We'll come back with all the final quarter action here from Adelaide Oval, where the crowd is building as the Redlegs are on the ground doing their warm-up. It is three-quarter time here at the SANFL Reserves Grand Final, and the Eagles by 41 points. We'll be back very soon.
Topping it up. No soft drinks at all this week. Joke. Absolute joke. The grand final. And welcome back here to the SANFL live stream of the 2014 Reserves Grand Final. It's the Eagles up against Sturt. The Eagles coached there by Jared Wright, going for back-to-back premierships in the reserves level. The Double Blues coached by Adam Silvey. And at the final change, it's been a dominant Eagles performance, bar that second term, but it's the Eagles 10-15-75, leading Sturt 5-4-34. Quickly, the goal kickers for the Eagles. We've got 3 to Todd Cully, 2 to Jake Summerton, 2 to Tom Whittlesey, singles to Angus Roundtree, and Matthew Raymond, while all individuals for the Double Blues, Lynott, Carey, Taggart, Vitkunis and Hurley. The final quarter won't be too far away. We'll see who becomes the 2014 Reserves Premiers. Your caller to kick us off will be Don Cooper.
So in the middle, umpire Davis Soberage about to get us underway. The last quarter of football, whichever way it goes. You can't see a draw from here. Mullins forced to as Atkinson came at him. Schwartz got his kick away. McKenzie in there doing well for the Eagles. Schwartz taken high, and he'll get a free kick, courtesy of the Lynott tackle. So Schwartz to the members' side here, and he spots up and finds Martin. They've been partners in crime this afternoon, these two. Martin with a drilling pass out in front of Whittlesea. It was too hot for him. It was picked up then by the Double Blues in Guilfoy. Chance now for them to get out of trouble here momentarily. The kick up towards Kelly, punched away. And that was good work in there by the Eagles there. And that was Woods forcing the issue and the ball over the boundary line. So 45 seconds gone. You would think the Eagles are only 20 minutes plus time on away from another premiership. Ball thrown back into play. Atkinson doing the ruck work. Appleton farmed the hand pass out. Nice one to Schwartz. He kicked it to a one-on-one contest. Unable to take the mark then was Carey. In the meantime, the free kick's been paid, and they're away here. Through McKenzie, through the middle. He's got players lining up. He's got Cully up forward, a strong mark at the fall of the contest. Players there lining up, running into the open goal. And
there's a free kick paid to Sturt.
It was a free kick paid to Sturt.
Somerton did miss it from the running into the open goal as well.
Oh dear.
We were going to call him No Mistake Jake before, but we can't now. He's shanked a few, but a relieving free kick for the Double Blues.
It was Proprotny that took it. A kick to centre half back was a nice one. Well taken by Matson. Stands out with those flowing dreadlocks. He and Ben Nason could get away with being twins. The kick to half forward's a good one. Vic Kunis just let the ball spill through the fingers. Good crumbing by Woods. He'll switch it to that eastern side rather. Signer in the box seat. In fact, it's Paul. He's got a teammate running for him there in press. Paul just tries to get the footy back, but good work from the Sturt defenders. Down there it was Lynott. Did well. Kicked it to half forward. And he's got a teammate there in Kelly. Got the Leicester plaster around the head. He goes back in board. Kicks and finds his teammate there in Kerno. Former power rookie, as I mentioned earlier, will go inside 50. Down there, Rose outnumbered 2-1, was always going to be hard to beat. Good defensive discipline spoiled by Giles Ellis. Punches it over the line underneath the traditional Adelaide Oval scoreboard that shows Eagles 10-15-75, Sturt 5-4-34. And bar that second quarter, Zach, the Double Blues have really struggled to get in the contest today.
They certainly have. You mentioned Jack Kelly then. He's one guy who's really dropped out of it. He was prominent early, but only had the 12 disposals today.
Ball's been thrown in. We've had a secondary ball up. Little Penfold there wrapped up in a tackle by Angus Roundtree. One of our favourites here up in the commentary box for the Bob Lee medal, which is awarded best on ground in the reserves. The hit out came. Well trapped there by Matson. Got a handball to Weech. Couldn't break through the Roundtree tackle. Ball ricocheted out just as the umpire blew the whistle. Ruckman there in Kerno tried to just extricate himself with the footy. Umpire Gluftus throws it aloft. 25 metres out from the top of the Double Blues goal. Matson just trying to ricochet it towards himself. Ball goes to ground. Matson, I think, has been taken high. And it's going to be a free kick. The whistle has blown. Matson just getting up a little bit gingerly. Looked to be Roundtree the infringer there. And Dylan Matson, Zach, can go back and line up for his first goal.
Don't have to illustrate just how important this one is for the Double Blues. They haven't kicked a goal in more than a quarter of footy. So Dylan Matson, one of the more senior players in the side. Pressure's on him here to finish truly.
Played a fair few league games of footy earlier in the year. Just found himself on the wrong end of the selectors table. Now we line up from 30 metres out. The kick's deliberate. It's on its way, and it's a good one. Two-finger salute from the umpire. A goal to Matson. His first, and importantly, a good goal to the Double Blues. Just keeps them in the contest at 6-4-40 are Sturt. But they're still 35 points behind the Eagles. 10-15-75. 4 minutes gone. That's on the Prince Albert Hotel scoreboard, Zach.
So important mentally to get that first one after the last change for the Double Blues, because now all of the teammates of Dylan Matson start to believe a little bit, and they're right in the contest.
Yes, a timely goal, and you never say never. It's a grand final. You never give up hope, and Dylan Matson there shooting truly, and undoubtedly, as you said, along with Ben Nason, two of the most dreaded players in the SANFL, aren't they, Phil?
Dreaded or feared?
Well, you missed the pun. All I got was cricket. So back in the middle, bang we go. Mullins up against his opponent there. The ball spills free. Weech couldn't get the clear kick away. Taggart under pressure from Martin. Martin searching for the ball, but Taggart in there. Halves the contest. Schwartz in there as well for the Eagles.
Really nice smother there from Jack Muirhead too, the acting captain for the Eagles.
Just those little 1%ers. I think he's one of the front runners too, perhaps for the medal. Played well early. So a chance here for Sturt. Can they get back-to-back goals? They're inside 50 again. Big Curnow there, tapped it over the back, but it was well read by the Eagles, and a chipping kick. It lands in the hands of Martin, and that came from Dunstan. So Martin now, right half-back flank, goes short again. Rowland just running hard to be that next player at the contest. Rowland now with the big kick. Searching to go inside 50. The ball sat up, though. It meant that Taggart had first bite of it. Turns around. Nice, neat little kick, but it put his teammate under pressure there. So the double blues now with the kick from Newell. Inside 50 again, and that's a good strong mark this time by Vicunis. We haven't seen a lot of him lately. He needs to stand up if the double blues are any chance here. We've seen his range tested, and Zacky's going back with a deliberate shot, but probably wouldn't fancy the chances on the strength of what we've seen so far.
No, down the southern end earlier in the game, he struggled to make this distance. He's only had the 3 kicks for the afternoon too.
So Vicunis, the kick, it sits up. Has it missed everyone? It has. Well, the commentator's curse has helped Ziggy Vicunis.
Yes, it certainly has.
We didn't believe, but he did. Great goal there to the Sturt gun forward. His second of the afternoon. The double blues, importantly, now move on to 7-4-46. Now the margin only 20 points, trailing the Eagles 10-15-75, 6.5 gone. That's on the Prince Albert scoreboard. And Zach, as you said, well, great goal from Ziggy Vicunis, and he did stand up.
Yeah, very important major for Sturt, because now suddenly the Eagles are starting to question where they're at, and they were seemingly confident at three-quarter time, but just tightening up a little bit, the reigning premier. Good
kick from 53 metres too.
Big Ziggy, a popular cult hero here down at the Double Blues. Gets his team, keeps them in the contest just. The Eagles, though, have got the clearance from the next stoppage, and it's McKenzie that kicks it to left half forward, and it's marked out there by Press. You swing around on the right boot, kicks it inside 50. Good positioning down there, Summerton. Good defensive work, Jonas. Taken high, surely was one key. Just a little bit clumsy in the tackle there was the Eagles player. One key's kick, though, is a poor one. He puts it out into space. He's going to make his teammate work. Well done, Cully down there. Good work, Atkinson, to apply the tackle. The handball came out now from Schwartz to the ever-athletic Martin. He'll kick it from the top of 50 down into the goal square. It's bounced into the post. There's 4 behinds now for Sam Martin on this afternoon's proceedings. The Eagles move to 10-16-76. Sturt a 7-4-46, 7.5 term.
Good sliding mark by Newell from the restart. The Eagles, they need to keep pressing because you don't want to put the cue in the rack too early. Vicunis travelling down from his forward line finds Kelly running through the centre square with the head taped up through an earlier incident, and a lovely mark by young Rose. Sliding to his knees. He's got Matson to his outside. He goes one way, runs to 49, puts it on the boot. How will it bounce? Well, it sits up for the Eagles' defence. There's no pressure there, so they should be able to run this out. And doing well is Killian, with a nice kick and a great mark too to Sam Martin. Well, he really is pressing for the Bob Quinn medal, isn't he, boys? Great game from him.
Had a very important last 5 minutes or so, hasn't he?
Always good to impress the vote givers in the last few minutes, Zach.
Yes.
Goes short. Oh, under all sorts of pressure. Great mark there taken by Dunstan. Under pressure from Leanett and Propotny. He was double-barreled by the double blues. Sam Rowland and Jared Leanett. Well, I don't think Leanett's got too many fans down in the golden green and blue as the kick goes up high to a 2-on-1 contest favouring the double blues. They got numbers there, Propotny, but it just spills off the boot straight through the interchange gates, nearly over the line, out of bounds, boundary thrown. So 9 minutes gone. 9 important minutes have gone. It's a 30-point lead to the Eagles. They're hanging on. Shallow throw in. He was confused as to what to do. Take it, tap it, throw it. He didn't know whether he was playing volleyball then, I think.
He didn't want to get caught holding the ball,
He didn't at all. The big fella didn't know whether to dig, set or spike then, so saw it over the boundary line. Umpire Terence Carter whips it in over the forward. This time, Muller could get a free kick, and he does. Held on to in the contest. So the big fella with the flowing mop of locks looking for and finding Raymond. Gee, his game's been impressive too, Zach.
Yeah, he's been very dangerous across half forward for the Eagles today. Very elusive and difficult to stop.
And Matty Raymond drives the Eagles inside 50. Big fly at the back and a good mark taken by Wonky for the Double Blues. So he releases Leanett and takes play to the eastern side. Whittlesea in hot pursuit. The short chipping kick is good. And it spots up and finds his teammate. So coming back inboard now. And it's the acting skipper Hurley. He looks up. He was flattened after disposal. So there'll be a free kick down the ground at Propotny.
No need to do that, the Eagles.
So just on the grandstand members' side of the centre square. He could have had one of two players. Hurley slipped over, eventually got it. Now the kick inside 50. He's got Vic Kunis all by himself. Couldn't take the mark. Kelly did well front and square. Here's a chance for Dunkley off one step. Big shot on goal, but it's going to fade to the left when it needed to go straight through the middle. So the Double Blues, 7-5-47. Chasing down the Eagles, 10-16-76. We have gone nearly 11 minutes in the final quarter. You think, Zach, the Eagles are just holding on now?
They are, and holding on's a good description, Don. Just wondering how much that lack of a rotation is costing the Eagles here in the warm sun. Really starting to feel the heat, and Sturt finishing a lot stronger.
So Muirhead taking the kick out for the Eagles. He'll go to the outer side. Double Blues have some numbers, though. Player there in Carey, takes possession, kicks it inside 50, looking for Rose. Ball at the ground level. Free kick, though, found to Albie Dunstan. Rose just a little bit ill-disciplined there, getting in his back. So Dunstan will take the free kick, defensive 50. We'll switch it to the left half-back flank. He's got a teammate out there. Player taking the mark looks to be Giles Ellis. So he's going to play on. Kick it down the line to centre wing outer side. There'll be a pack form. Front position, no voice there from the Double Blues. Propotny had some space to take it, but it's well intercepted by Raymond. Hamble's out to Paul, in a bit of trouble. Hamble back to Killian, back to Paul. They just flicking it around are the Eagles, then back in board now. It's with Whittlesea. The Hamble came back. Teammates just flicking it around to the Eagles, and it's Woods that's been involved again. He'll kick it again down the line. Good positioning down there by Weech, does well. Tries to spool over the top, then follows up nicely. Gets it on the right boot. It's a wobbly kick inside 50. Where's Vic Kunis? Good spoil down there. Crumbing out the outside there. Looks to be Penfold, but the Eagles player got a free kick for over the shoulder. So it'll be a free to Reece Woods. And the Eagles will look to relieve from defensive 50, Don Cooper.
Yeah, so Woods putting his head over the ball, making sure he earned the free kick. So they're just trying to steady the ship at the moment, the Eagles. Woods goes short and finds Appleton. Appleton goes wider towards the stands looking for Killian, who just fell over himself as the ball fell over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary thrown almost on centre wing on the eastern side underneath these magnificent grandstands which honour Gavin Wanganeen, Jack Odie, Max Bashir, Foss Williams and Mark Rashudo. So the ball spins back in. Atkinson with the tap down, favours the Double Blues. Chance now for Appleton, though, sliding in. Got it to Roundtree. The Eagles away again. Roundtree's kick inside 50. He's only got Cully back there, but the ball will be safely seen over the boundary line. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Guilfoy making sure that contest was null and void. So boundary throw in, 35 metres around from the behind post, right underneath one of the big screens here at Adelaide Oval. It spins back into play. No clear winner of the ruck contest. Roundtree went up there. Trying to burst his way through was Dunkley. Got a clearing kick, but only as far as Woods. Who's tackled. Play on advantage will be called. Penfold. He gets away with a clearing kick. One-on-one has Rose. Can he get to his feet? No, well done by Muirhead. Just to spoil that one away, Zach, and that was great desperation footy from Muirhead.
Fantastic spoil. Put the ball out of bounds. Didn't muck around because he knew if the ball got over the back, very would have likely been a goal to the Double Blues. So well done, Jack Muirhead.
Yeah, the sort of stuff you want to see from your skipper. As Muller does battle, gets the tap away. Could be a free kick, infringe free kick. Yes, it will be. Matty Appleton putting his head where Angels fear to tread.
Now, have a look at this, Don. Just absolutely no movement from the Eagles whatsoever here. Their work rate's really dropped off. They're just clinging on, hoping for that final siren. I think it's a little bit early to do that.
Yes, they've gone a bit stagnant like the River Torrens, I think, Zach, just behind us, but they can't afford to because the double blues are coming. Proprotny, kick around the body, nearly intercepted by Raymond for the Eagles. Charging through now. Free kick given. Weish was going to take the advantage, but the free kick will go to Leake. So what can he do? He can put them inside 50. That's what he can do. He's got Rose. He's got Vic Kunis. They need someone front and square. It's only the Eagles. Here's a chance now. The double blues. Matson got the hand pass away. It was into... Senor just shrugged a tackle. Found Press by hand. Press has got Roland, but he's in hot pursuit. He's been tackled fiercely. Got the hand pass to Mullins. Mullins just kick went up and under, and a lovely mark taken in defence by the double blues. They'll try and clear it back now, and it finds Jonas. So that was good work from that mark. And actually now that player is Carey, who drives them inside 50. Chance for Penfold around the body. How will it bend? Will it bounce? It will. Yeah. Oh, that is vintage Penfold. Jack Penfold. Well, he's got something there for the double blues. Importantly, kicks their 8th goal, and still there is light at the end of the tunnel, Zach.
Yeah, they won't lie down, the double blues. They keep on coming, and really nice goal and nice finish there to Jack Penfold, a snap from about 45 out. He's certainly been one of the players I've liked for Sturt today. He's shown a bit of dash, and he's tried to take the game on, which we need to see more of his teammates do.
And equally as impressive was the comments there from Don Cooper, like a fine wine. Penfold just getting better with age. It was good work in there, and the double blues, as Zach said, keep themselves in the hunt. 76 plays 53, 16 minutes gone in this final term. The Eagles holding the advantage. Bounce favours the big ruckman there of Mullins. It gets the hit out, but it's favoured towards the double blues' way. The Eagles have some numbers though. Defensive goal line, the defensive 50 rather. They'll flick it around. Summoning got a handball out to Roundtree. The kick to half forward, looking for Sinor. Couldn't take it. Good spoil. Weech in there for the double blues. Just went over the shoulder of his Eagles opponent, and it's the skipper in Mulehead that'll take the free kick. Smack bang on centre wing on that outer side. He'll switch it to the outer side, and it's Paul racking up possessions at will. I suspect Zach Milbank, he'll be in the top 3 contenders for the Bob Lee medal.
Yeah, he'd certainly be around the mark. He had a really strong third term, Angus Paul, that's for sure.
So he'll go with the kick to half forward. Pack forms. Flying early was Whittlesea. Crunch right into the back of the double blues. Big man there in the player in Medhurst. Made his league debut against Centrals back in around 16. Just a bit slow to get up is the big man. He's going to have to contest the throw in. The ball was punched over the line. So 55 out from the Eagles' goal. The big man Mullins up against Medhurst. Down at ground level, Paul again extracts it, does nicely, gives a handball off to the running Schwarz, inside 50 with the kick. Trying to body his opponent there was Cully. Good crumbing down there from Carey of the double blues. Can't quite get a handball out. Ends back now with Jonas. He'll swing off that left handball. Give it to his running teammate there in Wonky. So Wonky will kick it down the line, looking for Vic Kunis. Ball in front of Taggart. Can he keep it in? Does well. Knocks it over the top. It's still in play, is it? The boundary umpire there. Called to play on. The kick in board. Looking for Rose at the back. Can he take it? 1-2. Ball sits out there for him. He evades around his opponent beautifully. Off the left foot. Has he kicked it? You bet he has. They're on the march. They're right back in this contest now. Young Rose gets his first, and Sturt get their 8th. They move to their 9th, 9-5-59. The Eagles are 10-16, 76, 17.5, 18 gone, and the double blues are still in this sack.
Really classy goal there from James Rose. We certainly mentioned earlier in the program about the AFL scouts looking at him. He played a nice role for the SA Under-18 team this year in their victory, and he turned his man inside out really well there and snapped truly on the left from about 15 metres. So the double blues, they will not lie down, and the Eagles, I tell you what, they've got to start attacking the game because they're not going to win playing footy like this, just trying to cling on.
No, young Rose proving a thorn in the Eagles' plans.
There it
with
was.
a nice snapping goal as Mullins. Big punch away by Curnow. Second effort was good. Charging through was Paul. Clever. Got the hand pass out. Roundtree in space. It sits for him. He goes on the outside of the right boot, but it's intercepted. Lovely work there by the double blues defence. Standing up. And that's Atkinson. Comes back inboard, finds Curnow. Sweeping hand pass to Lena. Went one way, then the other. Caught. Got the hand pass back. There's the big kick by the double blues looking for Matson. Will it sit now for Hurley? It's gone past everyone. Vic Kunis kicking it in front of him. Charging to meet it. Oh, big clash of bodies. Two boys just going hard at it.
Jeez.
In the meantime, Hurley gets the kick away, and it goes to the wrong side of the post. One behind, but gee, big clash there. 9-6-60 the Double Blues. The Eagles 10-16-76, 16-point ball game. And it looks like, I think, Muirhead it is.
Muirhead and Vic Kunis were the two that collided, Don.
But I think Muirhead's come off second best.
Vic Kunis is up and about. He seems to be okay.
Zach, just two boys going hard at the footy there, wasn't it? Yeah, no intent there from anyone other than the ball.
Very fair. They both wanted to get that footy, obviously a premiership on the line here, and they certainly put their bodies on the line, didn't they?
That'll be the second Eagles player if a stretcher is called to be taken off. As we mentioned earlier, Tasman Fitzgerald, we pretty sure in that second term was stretchered off and took no further part in the contest to date. The Eagles now will be down just to one on the bench.
A couple of stretcher cases putting the pressure on the running sheet this afternoon. Zach, the screaming Jets would be warming up in the background, wouldn't they?
They're due to start at 2 o'clock, so will be interesting to see. But obviously, a couple of stretcher cases certainly adds a little bit of time on. And as we see, the stretcher coming out onto the ground now.
Interesting point of the game, Zach. Two stretcher cases means the Eagles are down to just one rotation. We've seen them already looking out on their feet.
Yep.
The margin's only 16 points. It's a 3-goal ball game. Can the Double Blues find something in the next 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes, depending on the time on, to win this game and take it from the Eagles' grasp?
No doubt that's being discussed in that Double Blues huddle there right at the moment. Plenty of water getting sucked in by the players and some wet towels being handed around. And yeah, it's all there for them. They just got to keep attacking the footy, Sturt. They're playing a nice, entertaining brand in this last quarter, and they haven't given up. And we've seen Jack Penfold being one of the players certainly rising to the fore and showing teammates how to get into the game. And Dylan Matson as well has certainly been prominent in the midfield. It'll be interesting to see how some of those Eagles midfielders respond now, because we saw them have a great third term, but probably only Angus Poole has been the one to carry on that form into the last.
Yeah, look, they've really been forced to go into conservation mode, haven't they, Zach, purely from the lack of rotation. So, down to just that one man on the bench now, you think, oh, gee, it's safely in our hands, but they can't be thinking like that, because the Double Blues must be thinking, we can steal this from their grasp if we just throw everything at them. We've seen what they've been able to do in this last quarter alone. They started off the quarter 41 points behind, 4 unanswered goals in this quarter. They must be a bit of self-belief there in the Double Blues. They can come back. On the other hand, the Eagles must find that fortitude to say, we can just hang on, we have to gel together as a group. We've only got the one rotation, but when we get control of the ball, we have to be good with it. We can't give it up, because the Double Blues will come at us.
Indeed, Don. We just go through a few of the stats here while the stoppage of play continues. Overall disposals, the Eagles still well ahead, 343 to Sturt's 242. The Eagles well ahead in the marks, 85 to 48. But the gap has closed noticeably in the inside 50s. Sturt has 32 now, but the Eagles still well on top in that area with 56. Some of the leading disposal winners on the ground, Angus Poole with 27 for the Eagles, Sam Martin 26, Reece Woods 26, Angus Roundtree 26 also. Sturt, Tom Hurley still leading the way with 27, Dylan Matson 18, Jack Penfold and Henry Carey 16, and Popropny 16 as well.
Yeah, the Eagles have done fairly well to quieten down Tom Hurley. He had 10 touches to quarter time, so only the 17 in the ensuing 3 quarters. So they've done well to shut down the Double Blues' main avenue of attack, haven't they?
Certainly have. He was very much looming as a danger man for Sturt, Tom Hurley, with his experience. And we saw that lovely finish on goal where he kicked it from the boundary, that Eddie Betts pocket. It was a beauty, that goal. But, he's gone out of the game a little bit, but he'll need to lift.
We're not far away from resumption, boys, and we know that because of all the pre-game stuff, there is a compulsory siren in the fourth quarter of the reserve, so the game will finish at 1:52. So time-wise, there's about 7 minutes of play left for the Eagles and the Double Blues. Can the Double Blues continue to mount? The Eagles have taken the kick out. Killian, disappointed with himself, dropped what he should have taken, but the Eagles still have possession. Back in the middle of the ground, good attack on the footy there by Whittlesea, and the rush kick came out from Schwarz. He'll put it to half forward. In the box seat, though, was the Sturt player in Carey. Couldn't quite take it. Good pressure in there from the Eagles, holding it up. Paul in there as well, just trying to get the footy out. The umpire says my ball. Umpire David Soberaj. Right half forward for the Eagles. The Double Blues coming back now. They trail by 16 points. Sturt take it from the clearance. It ends up with the player in Campbell. Off now to his teammate in Lynott. He'll kick to centre wing out of side. 1-2, couldn't quite take it. Ball at ground level. Soccering it off after fumbling it initially was the Eagles player in Giles Ellis. And Sturt put some good pressure on. Coming in to apply a tackle was the player in Vic Kunis. And we're going to have a ball up on the outer side. Forward of centre wing favouring the Eagles, kicking to the southern end. But they're against it now with the Double Blues. A bit of momentum. They get the clearance. Appleton goes inside 50. Cully down there, backing back. Sturt try and clear it defensively. Good discipline work there from young Jonas. Punches it towards the boundary. Would have taken that leaf out of the book of his brother's plate. A throw-in will take place in the left forward pocket. 25 minutes gone in the final quarter of the 2014 Reserves Grand Final. It's the Eagles by 16 points, and you're with Don Cooper.
So Whittlesea and Curnow set themselves for the boundary throw-in. Curnow, the stronger of the two, but the ball fell way short. Appleton just read it. His kick off the side of the boot, just wobbling, bobbling out in front of Cully. What can he do? Keeps his body, protects the space and the ball. Chance now for Appleton in there as well. They're surging at the moment, the Eagles, but the Double Blues defence standing up well. Good play in there by Propotny, just to hold up Cully. Curnow reaches over the top, got the tap down. Good tackling pressure there from the Eagles, right in front of their goal face. Dangerous location. Schwartz just extricates himself out of there. Great defensive work, James Wunke. Forced the behind. The Eagles 10-17-77. Sturt 9-6-60. Still a 3-goal ball game, 17-point margin, 26 gone.
So James Wunke takes the kick out. Of course, his older brother Michael plays for the Eagles in the league side. The kick comes to this commentary or western side. Penfold does well to pirouette out of a tackle. Handball put a teammate under pressure. Good work in there. Whittlesea coming over the top and pushing in the back of the Sturt player there was the young man in press. The free kick going to Lynott. He's been impressive today. He'll switch it to that outer side. The Double Blues up against the time clock. They're 16 points behind. They're pushing it to half forward. Taggart down there. Good work, Ellis. Like that match-up all day today, Zach Milbank.
Yeah.
I think Giles Ellis has had his moments.
Yeah.
Taggart's kicked a couple.
I quite like Giles Ellis's game today. He's certainly done his bit defensively, but he's also attacked the footy and provided a bit of rebound too.
So on there on that outer side, underneath the Max Bashir stand, the ball will be thrown in. Taken out of the ruck there by Curnow. Quick kick around the body. Good spoil down there, but it's trapped nicely by Rose. He'll handball off to Hurley, inside 50 with the kick. Looking for Vic Kunis in the back or hanging on surely, and against Albie Dunstan, thinking he's getting the free. It is going to Vic Kunis. If he can kick this, Zach Milbank, it'll be a 10-point ball game.
Makes it very interesting, doesn't it? Interesting to see there with Albie Dunstan did the old trademark. That was my free kick umpire. Tried to fool them and coax them into it, but wasn't to be.
So Ziggy will line up for his third. He's directly in front, 35 metres out. He's kicked one in the second, one in this final term, and he's pushed this one across the face. That
he
could
needed
be
to kick
costly.
that.
He had to kick that one. You'd think if Sturt were a chance. So Sturt move on to 9-7-61. The Eagles 10-17-77, 27 gone, final term.
That was a case of ziggy, 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 oh, oh, oh. So Ellis now for the Eagles. Brings it back into play. It's a matter of tempo football now for the Eagles. They're running on empty. But you would think they might still have this in hand. Appleton calls up. Gets a lead. Spots up Schwartz. He just slipped over then. Oh, now he's back on the mark. I thought he was going to pay 25. I thought that would have been stiff. So Tom Schwartz.
28-minute mark on. There's 2 minutes of game time left.
Well, it's ticked away. You would have think that needed to be a goal from Vic Kunis. Schwartz now goes to a pack of players, and that's a big, strong mark. Killian just standing up when he needs to, the big man. He's in no rush.
They seem to be very aware of the rules, fellas. Obviously running the clock down now. The runner's gone out and given the message to the Eagles.
Yep, smart footy from them.
Killian's kick now to a pack of players, and Jonas does well. He's been a good standout across half-back today. He's squaring kick, looking for Leake. How will it sit? It does sit well, but he slipped over. Saw the traffic coming. Goes backwards now. Has support. Taggart coming out to meet it. Dropped what he should have taken. Leake overran it as well. Taggart now in an Eagles sandwich. Right on top of the Magpies logo. As umpire Glufsis comes in. Ball's up. And we'll only have about a minute to play now. The tap comes down. The Double Blues, they'll work it out through traffic now, through Newell. Newell now has Lynott. Lynott will go the barrel. Look at him go. He's launched a cannon. At the back there, couldn't take the mark. The Eagles now. Killian just searching for Paul. Paul. And the little man will just hold it up. Comes in board and finds Woods. Woods now. Clearing kick. And finds Mackenzie in the shadows of the light stand. And his nice kick finds Muller. Muller's got inside of him, but he says, don't worry. Just let me go back. Soak up the clock. There's only seconds remaining. 16-point margin. The Eagles will be back-to-back premiers. Muller, well, he got the sandwich out to kick that one. High up and under. A great mark there for the Double Blues. Taken by Guilfoy. And Guilfoy chips in short. Has leak. Almost on defensive 50. Comes in board. Finds Weech. Weech ran lean it nearly into trouble. Jonas squeezed the kick out. And there's the siren. The Woodville West Torrens Football Club premiers in 2014 in the Reserves Grand Final. Running out winners 10-17-77 by 16 points over the Double Blues. Gallatin defeat 9-7-61. But the Eagles will wear the premiership medal this afternoon and take home the cup as the Double Blue out on their feet, knowing that their season will not end in glory, but Gallatin in defeat for Aspinall.
Yes, indeed. They were very good to get themselves through to the grand final. I just think the late withdrawal of Luke Panozzo out of the side really did hurt them. A bit of class in their midfield and up in attack. In the end, congratulations to Jared Wright and the Woodville West Torrens Football Club at reserves level, 2014 victors. Just quickly, the goal kickers: 3 to Todd Cully, 2 to Jake Summerton, 2 to Tom Whittlesey, then singles to Angus Roundtree, Jackson Press and Matthew Raymond. Then for the Double Blues, Zigovic Kunis, their only multiple goal kicker. He had 2, and then singles to Tom Hurley, Dylan Matson, Rory Taggart, James Rose, Henry Carey and Jared Lynett. In the end, the Eagles 2014 reserves premiers by 16 points. Zach Milbank, your thoughts on the contest?
Yeah, obviously Eagles deserved winners, as you said, Phil. They're probably the best team throughout the season, that's for sure. And the late withdrawal, as you said, Luke Panozzo coming out of that side, he's got plenty of league experience for the Double Blues, certainly cost them. But the Eagles probably in front of goal finished that little bit better. They just gave themselves a lot more opportunities inside 50s. We have a look at that overall count. Inside 50s, Woodville West Torrens finished with 57 to Sturt's 34. So when you're going to get that nation across 4 quarters of footy, it's always going to be difficult for the opposition to overcome. We have a look at some of the other overall stats there. The Eagles with 357 disposals to Sturt's 265. Significantly 92 marks to Sturt's 55. We have tackles. Sturt actually won that category with 43 to 40. Have a look at the hit-outs. Sturt won that category as well, 43 to 30. But didn't quite translate at the clearances, with the Eagles having 42 to 31. And we look at rebound 50s. Obviously, the ball spending a lot of time in Sturt's defensive half. They won that category as well, 46 to 25. Some of the individual stat winners: Sam Martin leading the way with the Eagles, with Reece Woods and Angus Poole, and also Matty Appleton, all having 27 disposals each. Angus Roundtree 26, Tom Schwartz 26. Sam Rowland quite liked his game, put his head over the ball on many occasions, 21 disposals. Joe Sinor 20. We flick over to the Double Blues. Tom Hurley, their leading disposal winner, with 28, the acting captain, leading from the front. Jared Lynett finished with 20, a nice game across half-back. Dylan Matson with those dreadlocks in the middle of the ground, big body, 18 disposals. Jack Penfold had 17 touches along with Paprotny as well. Jack Penfold really liked his game in terms of the way he attacked the footy and also stuck the ball under the wing and used his pace. Henry Carey, 16 disposals, as well as Newell. Jack Kelly, 14, probably faded out of a little bit, and as did James Rose. Would have liked him to get a little bit more of the footy, 14, although he did play a lot better in the final half.
So in the end, the Eagles 16-point victors in the 2014 Reserves Grand Final. I guess Don Cooper, a good all-round team performance, a couple of individual standouts, but based on those stats that's been given as well, what are your thoughts in terms of the Bob Lee medalist for best on ground?
Yeah, look, there were certainly no passengers, were they? But I really liked the game of Sam Martin. I think his run and carry was one of the things that really tore the Double Blues apart early. I think he would have come under the notice of the judges fairly early as well. Matty Appleton, Angus Roundtree, Muirhead himself. Look, it's going to be a tight tussle.
Yeah.
I'll probably lean towards Sam Martin, I think, perhaps myself. But I just think he's that sort of flashy player that was one of the real instigators in tearing the Double Blues apart and not letting them play that free-flowing type of football that they like to. Really set some goals up for his teammates while he didn't kick any himself. I think he was one of the key players.
The only blot on his copybook, of course, Don, was the four behinds. Had he kicked 4 goals, he would have been a Monty for the Bob Lee medal, wouldn't he?
Indeed,
absolutely.
Indeed he would have, yep.
So now we have the ground announcer just going through the presentations. The cup will be presented there. Matthew Doldig, the SANFL Footy Service Manager, will present the individual medallions with a representative there to the individual Eagles players. Commiserations to Adam Sylvie and the Sturt Football Club. What we'll do is we'll stick with the coverage and we'll go through the players individually. Perhaps as they get called up to present their medals, that can just refresh us with their stats individually.
Yeah, certainly Sam Martin, 27 disposals, Reece Woods, 27, Angus Poole and Matty Appleton, 27. So it's going to make a really interesting call here for the Bob Lee medal. My pick probably, I reckon Angus Poole. I just like the way he used the footy.
Yeah.
Very constructive, particularly in that third quarter where the game was probably won when the Eagles kicked 4 goals, 5 to no score. What are your thoughts, Phil, in terms of the Bob Lee medalist?
Yeah, Sam Martin for mine, I think, certainly had a very good game as Tom Hurley, the captain of the Double Blues, just speaking on behalf of his side. But I think I'm with you, Zach. I liked Angus Poole. I think when the moment was there to be won, the 50-50 contest, he always won out. Seemed to have an entirety of
On that outer side.
Poole by name, but it was a bit of a beach out there for him, wasn't it? It was no one out there with him.
No, he certainly made a splash on the game, didn't he, boys? So I think fair to
indeed.
say he might be one of the front runners as well. And look, it would be a great reward for him as well. He's a tireless performer. And look, there's going to be a very worthy winner there. Tough call. Very tough call.
Yeah, it is indeed. And of course, the Bob Lee medalist will be announced very shortly. It's going to be actually presented by Mr. Todd Hudson, of course, the grandson of Bob Lee. And down there representing Lion Nathan, Jason Bates, and the individual medallions. And of course, the coach, Jared Wright, will get himself one as well.
Thought it was really good in the last quarter, guys. It would have been easy for Jared Wright to go particularly defensive and throw a couple of men behind the ball, but he didn't change his approach.
And in the end, we were right with our initial thoughts. Sam Martin has been awarded the 2014 Bob Lee medal.
Well picked, on.
Oh, look, that's probably the first one I've got right in a long time.
A fantastic game by the former Crows rookie. As we talked about him earlier, levels can match it with Nathan Van Berlo when he was on the Crows rookie list.
And as you said, could have kicked one of the goals of the day had he kicked truly, but obviously the judges thought, well, 4 shots on goal at least, you've had some sort of impact on the scoreboard.
Certainly did, but his run and carry, as you say, Don, he used his fitness to his advantage, and that was a real feature of his game.
So individually now the players will be presented with their medallions, and what we'll do is, as we mention their name, we'll just get Zach to go through their stats. Just waiting on the ground announcer to do so. Number 2, Matthew Appleton, the boy from Moonta.
Yes, he finished with 27 disposals and fittingly actually 10 clearances as well, which was a match high for anyone on the ground.
Number 15, Angus Roundtree. Great to see him back playing.
26 disposals and 9 clearances for Angus Roundtree and a goal.
Jack Muirhead might not be there to take his medal because he did get earlier. So we've gone through Jack Muirhead. Sam Martin back out there now.
Finished with 27 disposals, 11 marks and, of course, 5 inside 50s.
Jackson Press there, number 19.
Finished with 11 disposals, 5 marks and 1 goal too.
Now, I played baseball with his dad about 10 years ago. I remember Jackson as a 9-year-old running around. It makes me feel quite old actually seeing him out there as a reserve premiership player. Number 20, Tom Whittlesey. 12
disposals and 3 marks, 2 goals, 1.
Number 22, Jake Summerton. Had a massive impact, I think, in that third quarter. Kicked a couple of really good goals.
13 disposals, 7 marks and 2 goals, as you say, Phil.
Thomas Schwartz, the next one up to accept his medal.
Tommy Schwartz, 26 disposals, 4 marks.
Number 24, the player now, Sam Rowland.
Really liked his game. 21 disposals and really hard at it.
Number 28, Aaron Killian.
14 disposals, 4 marks and 3 rebound 50s.
Tim McKenzie, next, number 30.
He valiantly all day, 12 disposals, 4 marks and 2 rebound 50s.
Tasman Fitzgerald, I think, well, he has made his way back out, dressed in the civvies.
That's really good to see, a positive sign. Finished with the 8 disposals and 1 behind.
Number 34, Reese Woods. Number 34, but he's number 40
Yes.
today. But great game from him.
27 disposals, 6 marks across half back.
Joe Siner, number 35.
Sinor, 20 disposals and 4 inside 50s.
36 on the list, Albie Dunstan.
Albie Dunstan finished with 13 disposals, 7 marks and 6 rebound 50s.
The big fella, number 37, Carl Moore.
9 disposals, 14 hit-outs and a behind for the big man.
38, former defender, went up forward, Todd Cully.
3 kicks for 3 goals, Donny, so good efficiency there for Todd Cully.
Running at 100%. Next up, 42, Matty Raymond.
Matty Raymond, as you say, dangerous across half forward, 18 disposals, 9 marks and 7 inside 50s.
46, Giles Ellis.
Giles Ellis, 19 disposals, 4 marks and 3 rebound 50s in defence today.
Number 52, the little fella, Angus Poole.
He was very good, wasn't he, the reserves McGarry medalist, 20 disposals, 7 marks, 4 clearances.
And number 55, Dylan Mullins.
Dylan Mullins finished with the 7 disposals, 10 hit-outs.
And for Jake Muirhead, who's back on the ground now to receive his medal and hopefully hold the cup aloft. Zach, good signs for him.
Yeah, gutsy effort from the acting captain today, 16 disposals, and he had 3 inside 50s and 2 rebound 50s.
And of course, it wouldn't be without coach Jared Wright.
Yes, he's done a really good job going back-to-back, Jared Wright, so congratulations to him. They've certainly got plenty of depth out there at Woodville West Torrens.
Yeah, they do indeed, as Jared comes up to say a few words of thanks. And yeah, look, great team effort by the Eagles, no doubt. Throughout the course of 2014, they proved themselves as the side to beat. They only gave up the 3 games in the minor season, went straight through from the second semi-final to today, and maybe those fresh legs did hold them in good stead considering what happened throughout the course of the game.
Yes.
But fabulous effort to Jared Wright and the boys, the 21 boys who wore the Eagles jumper proudly today. Back-to-back premiers, Zach.
Yes, indeed. Really, as you say, the weather did come into it. The conditions, Don, will be interesting to see what part that plays in the league game later this afternoon as the sun even gets a little bit warm. Certainly the Eagles going 2 men down during the game. It was a really big test for them, having just the one player left on the interchange, so rotations were down, but they did conserve their energy well and they used the towels, the wet towels and the water to their advantage.
Yeah, trademark of the Eagles, those towels, little ice towels they've got filled up down there, and they come in handy on. We know that the weather can be a real shock to the system for players. You've just come out of the cold winter months and you get picture-perfect days like this. Can really drain the fitness resources, but, gee, they ran the game out really well. Played that tempo footy when they had to, just to conserve some energy. The Double Blues threw everything at them, but in the end they were just too strong on the day and showed some real resilience.
Yeah, I thought that third quarter was really costly for Sturt. Didn't manage to score while the Eagles kicked 4 goals 5, and it really did set up the win and set a big buffer at three-quarter time. It allowed the Eagles to not even kick a goal in the last term and hang on, so well played Woodville West Torrens in 2014.
Yeah, certainly congratulations to them. Deserved winners. Not easy to win a premiership, let alone go back-to-back. They won the last one at Amy. They won the first one at Adelaide. A long time, isn't it? So
no doubt Nord will be hoping to do the same.
They will indeed, Zach. So we'll keep that one for the historians and the trivia quiz night shows. But well done to the Eagles. They're going to commence their lap of honour after they have the traditional fall on each other photo here in front of us. And Phil Aspinall, great game, well played the Eagles. Good to see Jack Muirhead and obviously Tasman Fitzgerald back out on the ground to accept their medals.
Yeah, fantastic to see. Obviously concerned for their welfare with both boys being stretchered off, and as we see on the big screen for those here at the game, the traditional team huddle there with the Premiership Cup in the middle. So congratulations to the Woodville West Torrens Eagles, to Jared Wright, Reserves Premier 2014 SANFL Grand Final. Just quickly, thank you to sponsor Prince Albert Hotel, who of course were sponsoring the scoreboard there. They're at 254 Wright Street. Head along Tuesday nights for Schnitzel Night half price, live music on Fridays. Don't forget their famous Mexican burger on the balcony, and enjoy a West End in the West End. Function rooms to suit any occasions. Go and see Matt and the boys at the Prince Albert Hotel. Well, that just about does us for the SANFL live stream. Zach Milbank, thank you very much for joining us.
It was a pleasure, fellas. I really enjoyed the contest and enjoyed calling the game with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks again to Zach and to Don Cooper. Well done, mate. Thanks for your work.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Pleasure to be here. Great scenes here for the Eagles. Great game, fitting contest to raise the curtain on the big one coming up.
And thanks also to Jeff from Adelaide AV, along with Scott Fisher and Steve, the boys there doing a great job getting the stream to air. Well, on behalf of those gentlemen mentioned, this is Phil Aspinall saying thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. Well done to the Eagles, and good luck to Port Adelaide and Nord in the 2014 IGA SANFL Grand Final.